Good afternoon. Since 1977, snooker's old masters and its new have created moments of sporting artistry in this very theatre, captured beautifully by Sheffield painter Brian Smith. But who will be the subject of his next work over the next couple of days? 2,345 frames have already been played in this year's Betfred World Championship, from the qualifying rounds until the end of the semi-finals. 35 more over the next 2 days will tell us who will be champion in 2016. Will it once again be the Englishman, Mark Selby, or will China's Ding Junhui finally win it at last?
So this is fabulous stuff from Ding Junhui. Ton up again.
Oh, tremendous pops. Well, you can't hit a ball much better than that.
Well, you can't strike a ball better than that.
He looks full of confidence now. He's played it absolutely perfect. Great shot. The match now, if you like, of Mark Selby came to the fore. We maybe have a new favourite for the tournament, and he is definitely a major contender.
Excellent stuff. Class from Mark Selby is the world #1, and he's showing how good he is.
A record-breaking 7 centuries from the Chinese sensation, and he gets himself into his first ever final.
And what a player and what a competitor Mark Selby is.
And he has got himself into his second final in 3 years.
Well, ultimately, it's not about how you get to the final, as long as you do, Stephen, isn't it? But if you're looking at the form guide of the two players to get here, you'd have to say Ding Junhui's been in better scoring mode
Oh, without a doubt, he's been the form player, and of the 4 semi-finalists, he played the most impressive snooker. Although Mark Selby was brilliant in the last session last night, I think a world #1's winning mentality kicked in.
Well, that's the thing with him, isn't it? I mean, he's cracked the code of how to be a top-class match player a long time ago, and you know you're always up for a tough match.
Absolutely, and he's been able to come through this tournament a lot of the time winning ugly, not playing well. But the fact, as I said, that he's got that mentality, so he just doesn't want to lose, and you don't get to #1 without having that.
Now, he's been in 3 finals, Mark. This is the first one for Ding. I know Ding is an experienced match player, he's winner of the UK and the Masters, but this is different.
Yeah, but this is the biggest occasion. I remember my first time in the final. I think you just got to enjoy it. I think Ding will come out and be thrilled by this atmosphere. And as I say, he's been playing so well, and if Mark Selby, he needs to keep him off the table, because if he gets on the table, he's just going to clear up every time. OK, that's the views of the 7 times world champion. Here's the views of the players themselves.
Everybody want to win. No one want to knock out by the first round. So it's a really bad feeling. The year I lost to Michael Worsley, this time I did it. I played quite simple snooker, just go for the shots. Don't think a lot and try to play quicker. Well, I used to think too much.
I wasn't performing well, so I had to just dig deep and try and find something from within. Last session was probably the most relaxed I felt, and I felt as I was in control of my game and my emotions. As I say, I probably played the best in that match towards the end when I needed to.
He's never give up. He just keeps scoring. It doesn't matter how much. It's 8 or 10, 20, it doesn't matter. Everything he could do, so that's the tough guy to play.
Ding's playing well at the moment. He's got a great all-round game, scores as well as anyone. Safety's great technique. So yeah, there's not that many weaknesses, but I need to be on my top of my game today. 2 years ago, I won it for the first time, which was a fantastic feeling and a dream come true. Trying to win it again for a second time will be even more special.
Everybody's dreaming to win the world titles. I just want to join the one of them to lift up that trophies and stay with me for a whole year.
So the 2014 world champion Mark Selby against former UK and Masters winner Ding Junhui. This is the 32-year-old Englishman's 3rd Crucible final, as you've been hearing. It's the first for Ding, and indeed for any Asian player. Almost 30% of the entire TV audience in China yesterday watched him win his semi-final in blistering style. The 29-year-old will have tens of millions tuning in to support him right now at what is 9 o'clock in the evening, Beijing time. Now, there's nothing between these players in previous matches, 10 wins apiece, and the bookmakers can't separate them either. But something is going to have to give over the next 2 days in 4 possible sessions of play, and we cannot wait to get started. So are you ready for the 2016 Betfred World Championship final? MC Rob Walker sure is.
Thanks, Hazel. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. After 15 fabulous days of action, this is it. It's the big one. Welcome to the final of the 2016 Betfred World Snooker Championship. Another chapter of sporting history is about to be written in this marvellous arena, and this one could be an absolute cracker. So let's get the boys on the bays. Here comes yesterday's record century breaker. He is today's history maker, the first Asian player ever to contest a World Championship final. He has been in sensational form here in Sheffield. 11 times a ranking event winner, but this is the match that will define a lifetime's work. An entire nation are on the edge of their seats on the other side of the world. So enter the Chinese dragon, Ding Junhui! And his opponent, a player who is already regarded as one of the game's greats. He has incredible mental strength, even under the most extreme pressure, as he proved once again late last night against Marco. Already a Masters champion, already a UK champion. Here he is, bidding to join an illustrious list of multiple world champions here at the Crucible. He's the world #1. He's the jester from Leicester. Here's Mark Selby!
So a completely new and special feeling for Junhui, who first came here as a 20-year-old in 2007. Incredibly, he was ranked second favourite before he even played a match in this arena. It's taken him 10 attempts to make it to the final. And he's playing a man with great experience. 31 years after the most famous Crucible final of them all. While it's Steve Davis and Dennis Taylor who are together again, this time in the commentary booth for the opening session of 8 frames this afternoon. Bring it on, guys.
We certainly will, Hazel. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to finals day at the Crucible Theatre. And what an atmosphere as both players were introduced into this magnificent arena.
Thank you. The first frame. Junhui to break.
Every player's ambition when they turn professional is to become world snooker champion. Mark Selby achieved that a couple of years ago. Can the Chinese sensation Ding Junhui win his first world championship? Now, late last night, after his semi-final victory, Mark Selby had a new tip put on his cue, a brand new tip, it has to be said. Be interesting to see how he starts off this session. Not the best safety shot from Mark, but it does take a bit of getting used to in the new tip, Steve.
Well, I've got to say, that must have been because he felt that he couldn't play at all with the tip he had on. It's a nightmare scenario to have to change a tip at such late notice in the tournament.
Well, that was a nervy shot from Ding Junhui there, but he hasn't left anything.
Great air of anticipation in the crowd before the start of this match, and a fantastic reception for both players. Yes, it's England versus China, but I think the Crucible crowd have taken Ding Junhui to their hearts over the last few years. Arguably as much support for him as for Mark Selby.
Nothing to pick between the two players. They've played each other on 20 occasions. It's 10 each. But one of the significant wins was Ding in the 2011 quarter-final of the World Championship. Defeated Mark 13-10. Now those 4 colours now are in perfect positions to try and get in behind.
I think the fascinating thing about this matchup, Dennis, in the final is that nobody's really got a clue what's going to happen. Nobody's even got an inkling. There's no track record as such that's sticking out there, and you can pick a winner, but it could go horribly wrong.
Well, this will test that new tip. It's the type of shot he's so good at. He punches these in around the back of the black. This will give him a bit of confidence. And he's flicked the other red over the pocket. It was a good pot, but as we show you it again. Just flicking that red, and now an early chance for Mark Selby.
Picking up where he left off last night, he was in absolutely superb form by the end of the match with Marco Fu. Tip looks to be played in.
Put that camera away, please. Got a light on the front of it.
He's knocked a few balls in last night, if he had the chance, but not ideal. I mean, we're assuming it's a new tip he's put on as opposed to an old one
11.
played in that you know, you had sort of stored up ready for emergencies.
Didn't have one. Bobby, his good friend who's with him, said it was a brand new tip that was going on. And the way he's controlled that cue ball, there's certainly nothing wrong with this new tip. And of course, we've got a brand new cloth on the table as well. As play finished last evening, they were dismantling it to put a brand new cloth on. I suppose towards the end of that session, played beautifully. They were just starting to ping a little bit off the cushions, but I'm sure this table will play superbly well over the next 2 days.
20.
Impressive start. Bit closer to the cushion than he would have liked, though. And because of that, made it a bit more difficult to get the power on that shot.
27.
And guarantee the pot. And also perhaps because the cushion covers have been renewed, just a little bit of a cushioning effect with the brand new cloth. Just slowed that cue ball up more than perhaps he expected.
Mark Selby, 27.
No easy path for Ding Junhui back to the safety zone, so might have to leave the white up this end of the table. Which is what he's done. That's what we call the dump shot, introduced by Cliff Thorburn, where you leave the white at this end of the table and you just dump the red up the other end. I'm talking about Cliff Thorburn. There he is. Hey, look at that. He doesn't look any different. He's been over for a few days. He looks exactly the same as this photograph. I played him in 1972 when he came over, and we've been best buddies ever since. And he's got his name on that beautiful trophy.
Dangerously close to that green pocket. That would have been a mistake. I assume he played it a bit thinner than that, or attempting a bit thinner than that. problem for Ding Junhui here is it's unavoidable in playing a safety shot to keep the pack tight. So you can see what he's looking at. It's a very aggressive opener, but he might think it's worth the risk. I think he's mentally turned it down.
Well, that would be some shot to take on, wouldn't it? It would scatter the reds everywhere, and not guaranteed. I think the plant, you'd probably maybe get it twice out of 10. Oh, is he having a go?
Not sure. It's very aggressive, this, if he's going for this plant. No. Yes. Wow. Well, that was... I don't know. Surely you could have seen a containing safety. I mean, that is, you know, presenting your opponent with a chance to win the first frame, and whilst it's a best of 35, question marks about the choices there.
He had a straightforward safety shot down the right side of the table as we look at it, but elected to take on, well, I said I thought it was 2 out of 10 chance of getting it. He's okay. He's dropped the chalk. Has it gone right underneath the table?
Well, it was an awful...
It is.
Oh. He really didn't hit that very well at all. He completely messed the shot up, and end of break. Could have got lucky possibly and held the pink spot, but it wasn't what he played. So Ding Junhui let off the hook.
Mark Selby, 7.
Tried to get that cue ball to go wider. Good safety shot from Ding Junhui. Strange position with that red by the yellow. Not sure if it goes into the green pocket. An attempt to try and get back up the table with the cue ball and push the red up the table. He's a bit wide on this. He's just got it past the pink, and he'll be very happy with that.
That was a clever safety shot he played there. But look at the black, it's totally out of the game now, red either side of it. Might just take the chance to free the black here, play the red next to it. Eight frames to be played this afternoon. There will be 9 this evening.
Playing the outside red at the bottom here. I don't think he's playing the one by the pink. Could knock the black into play, possibly. Tried that. That was quite an attacking safety shot, and he's got a good white ball.
I'm right down the line of the shot, and I think he might just be able to get past the yellow and the pink to clip the red.
He'd have been in all sorts of trouble. And he might be in all sorts of trouble if he can't. That's tight. There's a little bit of right-hand spin. New tip, not easy to judge. Perhaps you can just get to the middle of the cue ball. Yeah. but a mistake. And a chance for Ding, although if that yellow's in the way, it's more awkward, and also the positional play is even more awkward.
I think if he pots this, he might double kiss that red, and he could head up and leave the pink on.
Well, he could play it slow and try and see if he could hold for the black. That would be a shot, wouldn't it? Trundle it in there, the cannon on the red, and leave yourself on the black. Perhaps not. Slow drag shot or power screw back.
Well, he's left himself a very tricky black. He didn't get the double kiss, but this is a key shot early in this final.
He can roll it slow, and if he misses, the black stays over the pocket, so a bit of insurance perhaps.
Did touch the cushion on the way across, as you see here, but the pace
8.
Let it drop into the pocket.
Brand new cloth helps no end in the pocket swallowing the ball up, regardless of the size of the pocket. So first realistic chance now with the balls open for Ding Junhui.
Ding Junhui, 8.
But they're not that big.
This is now a good chance for Mark Selby.
One.
You can tell straight away as it caught the near jaw. It was never going to go in.
Pretty tense opening frame. Neither player really settled down. And of course, the first frame of every one of these 4 sessions important. It can dictate the pattern of that particular session.
I think he's just okay. He's got a little gap to screw between. I think he can hold for the pink again
7.
if he just... I'm not sure if he can hold it or... Now he's had to go through the gap, so it wasn't quite
8.
the angle to hold for the pink. So it just means he's got an awful long way to travel now with the cue ball. With those 3 reds between the pink and black are available. Or certainly 2 of them are. Bit straight on the green, so he's had to come down the left side of the table.
11.
He's looking for 68 points, as you can see there, to leave Ding Junhui needing a snooker. Must pass the red, and that's useful.
Just a bit shy of pace, but he's okay. Perhaps that top cushion playing a little bit slower than it has done.
19.
Stored in the memory banks of not just Mark Selby, but Ding Junhui will have noticed as well.
Yeah, even with
20.
a new cloth on, the tables play slightly different, but within a frame you know exactly what's happening. You get used to the pace of the cloth and the cushions within one frame. Already 52 in front, so a couple more pots as he glances at the scoreboard
26.
there. That will tell him that he's a few pots away from securing this opening frame.
Well, Mark Selby hasn't been in blistering form in this tournament. He did up the pace and go through the gears a bit towards the end of the match with Marco 4 in the semi-final. And timing is everything, as he timed his run
34.
to perfection.
Well, he missed a few tournaments, so he's certainly fresh coming into this year's World Championship. See him moving around just a little bit, not as much as he used to do. It's just a mannerism that Mark's had for quite a number of years. But it seems much better now than 2 or 3 seasons ago. He's just a
42.
Terrific player to watch.
Yes, he can
49.
become very machine-like, as can Ding Junhui. Bit concerned about
50.
the aggressive plant that Ding played. I hope that he hasn't got a game plan to try and attack too much, to try not to get stuck in a tactical game. The trouble with that type of mindset is the balls
56.
dictate a lot of the shots. You can't just make things happen.
57.
Well, that kicked, and the red still flew in the pocket there, even though it hit the cushion. Let's have a look at this. There's it bouncing, but well, this would be a great shot here if he can swing this round and get onto the green. He'd like to clear
64.
them all up. That's what he's attempting. Superbly played.
Well, I suggest, Dennis, whilst he didn't win the frame in his first couple of chances, that's a good confidence builder with a new tip on.
Yeah, he would have been concerned, but obviously when he had a practice session with it, he would have known straight away if the tip was any good or not. Sometimes you can get a bad tip, but there's certainly nothing wrong with this one. And look at the spin he's got on that.
78.
Little exhibition, positional shot there from the world number 1.
$84.
Well, Mark Selby needed a couple of chances. Ding took a very risky plant on at the beginning, and he looks in fine form. The world number 1 takes the opening frame. It's 1-0.
What a start for Mark Selby. And you've got to ask, how big a gamble is putting a brand new tip on your cue after your semi-final last night?
Massive. I mean, he wouldn't have done it hadn't there been a problem with the one he had, that's for sure. But, you know, it's the feel has affected everything about it. He's played half an hour straight after last night when he must have been tired when he finished. He went and had half an hour's practice with it to try and break it in. He had an hour and a half this morning. Seems pretty happy with it, and the way he's played in the first frame, I'm actually quite surprised how well he's played with it.
Yeah, and obviously he's trying to get the fast start, but more importantly, perhaps, Ding Junhui has been desperate to try and get the fast start. Now, that was a plant that perhaps even you would not have attempted.
Even I wouldn't have played that. You said it. Even I would not have played this. I mean, the cue ball, fair enough if you've got the cue ball on the baulk line, you get your hand on the table and you can maybe screw the cue ball back for safety, but that was a crazy shot. I mean, that's more of a gamble than Mark putting a tip on.
Yeah, I mean, he had a red on it. You can see on there, he had a red on the left-hand side of the screen. If he plays that full ball and runs the cue ball to the top cushion, can't leave anything.
A couple of nervy shots from Ding there. The first long pot, medium-length long pot, he hit very hard. Missed a comfortable red along the cushion. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes him to settle down. Mark's a very different character to let's say, Alan McManus. Ding would have fancied winning that match, no disrespect to Alan. This is the toughest test Ding could get in the final.
Well, he knows he's got to make a fast start here. And interestingly, Neil Robertson has been tweeting this morning. He says Ding must score from his first chances in frames. If they go more than 20 minutes, Selby will dictate.
Yep.
Back we go.
As all great champions do, Mark Selby won that opening frame with a break of 90. 91 to be precise. And that is the start that he was after. It's all about whether Ding can settle in sooner rather than later.
Nice break off from Mark Selby. Don't know exactly if he played to get that red back into the pack or whether it just happened, but if you can guarantee that you don't leave your opponent that long red sticking out, that's a massive advantage long term. Of course, every time you set the balls up, doesn't matter how accurately you try, they're always fractionally different. He's just going to slide off the edge of the pack, but I think it's going to be okay. Might have given Ding a sniff. Just past the black. Not an easy one, though.
Yeah, there was a few occasions in the semi-final where the ball was sliding off the cushions between Mark Selby and Mark O'Fu. That one just did slide a little bit. That's why he misjudged landing in the bunch there.
It's actually gone far enough. You can see a red into the right corner. It's an easy starter. It's just a position.
The face of the black and leave it for the other corner, but that'll do nicely. Yeah, and last evening's semi-final, the number of times off the break-off shot, Steve, you were talking about there, where the black was being tied up, a red was going either side of it.
No.
He's not got too many reds to work with before he's just left with a pack, so he'd like to get some type of shot on a red to split the pack, keep on the black. Not ideally placed on this situation to open the pack up. But he decided to play it. He didn't catch the right part of the pack. He was hoping to play, as we look on our screen, to the right through that gap. 16. And that would have sent the cue ball out to the right of the table. He caught the other side of the red and then had to trust to luck, and he got none.
Junhui 16.
Not nice to come to the table presented with an ideal opening and only score 16. Cue ball creeping past the brown there has made this shot a problem for Ding Junhui. Mark Selby's safety at the end of the match with Marco through was quite incredible. Being forced to play to the black cushion. He's caught this a bit wide. Oh, and he didn't want to hit the black. So far, he hasn't settled down at all here. Wasn't a wrong shot, he just missed-hit it, so one questionable decision in the first frame, and he's on the back foot already. Mark Selby would love to capitalise.
One.
Just about perfect on the blue. Just looking at the reds, they're all covering each other somewhat. There's a few of them that are potable. Just having a little look to see if he could play a cannon and bring a few more into play.
Yeah, I doubt he'll go into these that hard. He'll try and play a controlled split, if at all. He might even try and steer clear of this pack and not trust to luck. And I think that's a very good choice if that cue ball comes round the table far enough to be past the pink.
6.
It's a bit shy of pace, perhaps that top rail just playing a bit slower.
Has he got a slight angle on the brown here? He can play for the red that's near the black spot. There's one to the right of the pink that's available to the left middle pocket. And if he's got an angle, and there you see it, he clearly has, so he can get up to the reds from this shot. Now, if he's played that in such a way, he had a choice of the reds I mentioned, one to the left middle, one to the left
11.
corner. He'd love to get on the black, get it back on the spot, but not until this red's removed that's to the right of the black. It's okay. Very little to do with the cue ball here for position.
$18. Yeah, sure.
Just spotted something on the cue ball there.
It's not great.
He'll have to play up for the blue here and then possibly down for that red that's near the black spot. He's already thinking about it, Mark Selby. Sometimes, you know, people say, how many shots ahead are you thinking? Very rarely are you more than 2 or 3 shots ahead.
$19.
Well, he didn't go into the reds the last time. It'll be interesting to see if he plays for that loose red and then tries to get the black back on its spot. He's got a choice. He can play the cannon this time. He refused it previously, but just depends how he feels here.
Yeah, the red to the right of the pink, he hopes will open things up nicely here. Flick the pink, didn't want that, a misjudgment. And for all of the good hits he's put on the cue ball, that would have been the one he would have liked to have gone right. So now it's It's going to take a good shot to keep this break going. I'd like to be playing the safety shot, I think, down the table. He's got his opponent in a bit of early trouble, so keep it tight is perhaps the order of the day.
I think he can play a thin one off that red and get the white somewhere near the cushion. You want to try and make it as difficult as possible. So he's thinking about even leaving it in the jaws of the pocket. You don't always have to get the snooker.
And obviously so early in this match, you know, Mark Selby 1-0 in front and only a few points in front. It wouldn't appear like he's got Ding Junhui in trouble, but Ding hasn't settled down. Mark Selby will know that, so therefore he's hoping that things go worse for Ding, so keep the pressure on him.
Mark Selby, 24.
That's just pure experience from Mark Selby. He did look at another shot, a difficult putt, and he could have got on the black, but he quickly decided on keeping things tight. Needs to miss the green here.
To make sure the phones are on silent, please.
Just means it's an easier safety shot for Mark Selby. Paul Collier just telling some in the audience to keep your phones on silent. I think one of these days we should ban the phones from coming into the Crucible. Like the Masters Golf in Augusta, you can't take your phone in there.
Well, Mark Selby revving up for the big long red with screw back for the blue. He thinks the only ball he can leave on is this red if he misses it. That's what he thought.
He had an easy safety shot there, and this time Mark decided to...
Getting away with it. He's got away with it. Well...
What a result he's had here.
There weren't many reds that were puttable up the top of the table. He didn't expect that the cue ball was going to be shoved back up that end with a double kiss, but Ding would have hoped for better. Was he playing the cut? Can he cut this back into the right corner? Oh, wow.
Well, I think that's 1 each in the luck department. I think Ding Junhui was...
He was a long way out with a cut, though.
Yeah, but I think it was a bit of frustration, the fact that Mark got away with it, that forced him to take that on, but he's had a slice of good fortune.
Misjudgment. I think this is very much at the moment advantage Mark Selby, even though it's very early in this opening session. Ding just needs to get a few points on the board and settle down.
And he may have got away with this again. And I think at first glance he has. Once he missed the pot and cannoned into the reds, he could quite easily have left quite a few on, but he's probably just getting a little anxious. I know it's only the second frame, but he wants to get in, he wants to get settled. But, you know, sometimes you're better off waiting, play a few good safety shots and wait for that chance.
Without doubt, this is the biggest match of Ding Junhui's life, and he just needs a clear head.
And not easy to have a clear head if you're on the bottom cushion all the time. It's a little bit like playing you, Steve. You used to spend most of the match striking from the baulk cushion.
This doesn't look easy. Okay, he's got reds. It's just getting back down the table. It's pretty crowded. Red, green, blue as goalkeepers. Can he just get past that black for the cut? He'll settle for that. Great shot. I know this is best of 35, but these are quite tense moments, I feel. Mark Selby will realise the scenario. But he's got to keep Ding under pressure, and he's got a difficult safety shot here.
Well, he made that difficult safety shot look very easy. That is a corker. And Ding just, well, you could say maybe just psyching himself up a little bit there. He's in for a tough final. He knows that. And he's caught the green, and this time he hasn't got away with it. Against Mark Selby, you've just got to be so precise with your safety game to try and give yourself an opening. It's going to be tough because he is a master tactician. Is this world number one?
One.
And he's got them sitting pretty now.
Seven. Eight.
We keep saying you play these longer matches in little mini sessions of 4. Try to get a 3-1 advantage for the interval. If you get all 4, that's a bonus.
Yeah, Mark Selby,
15.
True predator. If he gets his teeth into you, he doesn't let go.
A little bit like Ray Reardon used to be back in the 70s, 6 times former champion. Oh, and all of a sudden,
Mark Selby, 15.
well, no one's seen that coming. He had them at his mercy there. They were all sitting pretty, and then all of a sudden, he puts it on the far jaw. Now then, this is the first, as we show you the red hitting the jaw, first real chance for Ding Junhui.
One.
Controlled that well. Could have been forgiven for choosing pink or blue there as a positional shot, so he could have hit the cue ball a bit harder, but played the correct shot. Just a little roll through. be pleased to see that go in. It's obviously looked like an unmissable shot, but as yet not settled down. So a couple more reds, couple more colours just before he gets his cue arm going. You can see he's still not settled. Badly placed now on the pink. Did well to go in. It's a big blue to take on, and the pink's not that good for positional reasons.
Might be able to take the pink on and play a cannon on the second red. That would stop the white from going way up the table. We must make sure of the pot. And that's exactly what he done. But when the pink comes back, it's blocking the path, but using that second red as a stopper there.
15.
But there's still one between the pink and black that is on.
$16.
Still got the problem of the two reds on the top cushion to resolve at some stage.
And if Junhui can make Mark Selby pair for that sitter of a red he missed in the middle, it will give him a big confidence boost. But as Steve mentioned,
24.
It's all about those two reds that are near the cushion. If he gets nicely on the blue, he can leave an angle to come up. And cannon, probably the left of the two reds would be the one
30.
that would open things up. Pink slightly in the way, though. That's the only problem.
31.
So he might have to come off the side cushion and try to cannon the left of the two reds. Let's have a look at the angle, yeah? Can play this with top spin. There's a bit of a chance, this.
Yeah, he'd love this to go right. Can't afford to hit it too hard.
Has he cannoned that red out? Oh, he's unlucky, you know.
A little bit less pace.
36.
Just a little bit less pace to guarantee being at the top of the table should he get an unfavourable flick, which he did get.
Oh, if he had hit the cushion first.
Either way.
It was perfect.
He was trying to shift that red into play and guarantee being on the red, so another tricky one along the top cushion. Very missable. Superb.
47.
Well, it looked a simple shot, but that was the best shot of the match so far. That was a little beauty he's played there. So a red and a black, and Mark Selby will need a snooker, and he'll rue that missed
44.
red into the right middle pocket.
Yeah, making the analogy with boxing, Mark Selby had his opponent on the ropes early in round one. But couldn't seal the
45.
deal. Junhui fights back.
Yeah, sure.
He'd love to get on the yellow, but it's all about making sure the black goes in to leave Mark needing that snooker. And it's there. As I say, he sacrificed a little bit of position there, but only that one snooker needed. So, and we know what Mark Selby's like. when it comes to requiring snookers. And this looks good.
Junhui 52.
And there's just enough room for Mark Selby to go around the back of this yellow. So off the right side cushion, fault cushion. He'll be hoping to send the yellow back up the table with a possibility of getting a snooker back, but he could slip around the back of the yellow. Ding, every chance of getting a snooker here behind the brown. He could play to clip the yellow in. He'd be coming around into a safe position as well, but it's an easy chance to get in behind the brown here. That'll do nicely. Wow. Big swerve shot from Mark Selby. Now it's coming off the side cushion. White could go in the pocket here. Nearly. Now he can't leave the green on here, Ding Junhui, because look at the green sitting. You know, if he was to leave the yellow on and Mark was to pot it, look with the green sitting. So this frame is far from over. He's got him snookered again. Well, maybe not. If he can pot this, he's heading back up towards the green. And all of a sudden, when Ding made sure of the black and didn't get onto the yellow, the frame's not safe. This is a key shot coming up here.
He'd preferred the green below the pink, but still possible.
I thought he could see enough of the yellow to take the pot on, because if he pots the yellow with the green placed as it was easy to get a snooker in behind the pink. But they're still well placed for snookers. Is he going to find the gap? He has. How did he find that gap between the green and the pink?
If Mark Selby could get a full ball hit, he could get a snooker back. Shows you what I know.
This is a great effort. A terrific effort from Ding Junhui. What a shot that is. He's certainly testing Mark Selby's knowledge of the angles here. Another thin snick. I think he can get to this with the rest. The blues, a slight distraction. I was speaking with one of the referees, though, Alan McManus, had a shot similar to this. It was even more awkward, and if he was to pot the yellow, he won't call two until the rest's removed. That's the rule, just in case you foul with the rest. It's the player's responsibility to get the rest out of the way in an awkward situation like that. And he could pot the yellow this time and get nicely on the green to get that snooker that he's looking for. But he's still playing it on the yellow, and this time it's a snooker. He may be able to swerve this. Yeah, and there you can see it. Just watch the cue ball as it bends around the brown.
Probably forced to pot the yellow now. Green's not as ideally placed as it was.
Mark Selby 2.
Yeah, very well judged. Especially with a brand new tip on the cue, to judge that delicate little screw shot in behind the pink was first class there. And now it's a must hit for Ding. He's now thinking, when I potted the black, maybe I should have played to get on the yellow. This was a shot where he rolled the black in. He wanted to make sure of the black and hit it too hard, and otherwise the frame would have been well and truly over.
Foul. Mark Selby 4.
He might have wanted to hit that a bit harder to try and guarantee the angle, but he had to also play with an element of insurance that if he did miss the green, he wasn't leaving Mark an easy pot at the green. So sometimes when you play slow onto a cushion trying to escape, it sometimes seems to be harder to judge. He's back in it.
Well, really, it's what we call now a green ball fight. You'd think whoever gets the first chance to pot the green would win the frame. Of course, there was no miss called because the player needed snookers. Well, he seems to be looking at the potting angle of the green into the right middle pocket and to take the white all the way around the table to get on the brown. I mean, that's what he's looked at. What a shot that would be. He's tried it. It was risky. Is he going to get away with it? Is he lucky? Is he lucky?
I think he's got away with it as best he can. Yes, Ding Junhui's got a couple of options of corner pockets or a very thin snick, incredibly thin snick into the middle pocket. I think he's got to attempt this into the right corner, and oh, he can play it thin. He's playing the thin green.
Oh, where's that cue ball going? It's a chance for Mark Selby.
Well, I mean, that was committing. I thought for a minute he was going to play the very thin green and try and snooker behind the black or something, but second thin shot, he's hit thick.
Well, this will be a body blow for Ding Junhui.
3.
Because he had the frame in the bag when he potted the black, but just made sure the black didn't play a position on the yellow.
He must have felt the green was more or less a certainty. Otherwise, if it was risky, then you should have played the green into the corner, screw back for safety.
He played it with running side. He's got to play it with the other side. He didn't have to get on the brown. He just needed the green. Strange choice that was.
Well, you'd expect Mark Selby to clear up, but it's still not certain. Has he judged the pace right now using the back cushion? Yes, this time it's perfect. An early steal, and this would keep Ding Junhui under severe pressure very early in the final.
18.
It looked for all the world it was going to be one frame each. Mark Selby needed a snooker. He got it, and he's pinched the frame. And the world #1 now leads 2 frames to 0.
And if ever there was a lesson in having to kill off a frame when you got the chance against Mark Selby, that was it. Why is this guy so tough to play, Stephen?
I think he's becoming the ultimate long session match player. To me, he can get through sessions playing terribly and still not be losing. And when he plays well, he's still going to win. It's going to be such a big test, this. I mean, if Ding was to win this final, I'd be so impressed, because O'Sullivan couldn't beat him in the final. He got to O'Sullivan. So if Ding can't produce the normal form he's been playing against McManus, it's just so tough to play against Mark Selby.
And of course, that will really hurt him. He's desperate to get a first frame in this final, clearly, and yet he hasn't managed to do it. And one or two of the shot selections that he had in that frame, John, how much concern will they be to Ding fans today?
I think I'd be very concerned. There was one he played at the start of the frame, a cut back into the... I mean, what was he playing there all around the table? You know, sometimes you come to the table and it's just something not on, and you try and force the issue, and it's difficult when you play Mark, because you don't get too many chances. When they come, you think there should be one there for me to take on. He didn't, but he committed the ultimate sin against Mark Selby near the end, not playing position on the yellow. Because if you've got to win frames when your visit comes, because you will get 20 minutes of aggravation and you can lose frames, which is exactly what's happened there.
This is a really difficult moment for Ding Junhui in this final already, and we're only 2 frames in.
Yeah, very, very much so. This first session, if he can't play some good snooker, make some centuries and play the snooker that he's used to being playing, it's really going to put him in a negative frame of mind. And then, well, then Terry's going to have his work cut out to get him thinking positively.
And the thing is, Hazel, so far in this final, in this tournament, Ding's attitude has been the best I've seen it. This is going to be a major test for here, because I've completely read this final wrong here. I thought he was going to come out and score heavily, and Mark Selby is just strangling. He's just making sure there's no chances there. Even he's not. It's what he does. You know, he is the human boa constrictor. You know, he gets you, and he'll just keep going.
I would hate to play Mark Selby in long session matches. I really would. If you don't get into it early, you're going to be in for, like, it's going to be torture for Ding Junhui.
And I have to say, you know, it's the same arena, the same one in which he made a most number of points ever by a semi-finalist. He made 7 centuries, and today he is under it from the word go.
Yes, he certainly is, Hazel, and you don't usually get much expression from Ding, but as he walked out of the arena there, he gives the table a little knock there, so he knew he threw that frame away.
Yes, there'll be a few 100 million fans in China biting their fingernails at the moment, because they know Mark Selby. They know what a tough match player he is. And I think the thing is, for every part of the fact that Ding Junhui has played great in this tournament, when it boils down to it on a snooker table, it's the right shot at the right time that usually wins the day.
Right, he's got a couple of reds now that he can take on here. He looks to be marching around the table, so he's certainly trying to get himself thinking positively. This is not straightforward with regards to position. And didn't even get the red in the jaws of the pocket, but I don't think he's left anything easy. He mustn't start panicking so early on, but he wants to get in, as Hazel said, he made that record number of century breaks.
Nothing, I think, on for Mark Selby, even some type of speculative shot.
I think he's going to risk this up into the
it? Yeah.
right corner past the blue.
He did speculate. Once again, though, with an element of safety. Clever match play. It's the modern day game. If you can see a red and that's the only one you can leave on, it's worth going for. Even if it looks a risk. Excellent shot from Junhui. And whilst Mark Selby didn't sacrifice a pot there, he sacrificed the tactical exchange. At first glance, Dennis, it's going to be tough to guarantee this one's safe.
Yeah, with the reds open, nothing easy to land on. 2 cushions and flick the red, try and get back down the table. Not easy. You don't mind missing it.
Foul. And a miss.
The first
Junhui 4.
time, you'd rather miss it than hit it too thick.
That was like his feeler shot, wasn't it? Get the feel for that shot, and if he's put back in, perhaps you can just eke a bit closer. Well, don't know exactly what Ding's looking at here. Why doesn't he put him back in again? Not too sure. Well, surely he's got to put him back in. So you'd expect Mark Selby to get a bit closer with this, but I think he's still likely to miss it because he's desperate.
Okay.
That he just flicks the red rather than hitting it full ball.
Nowhere near at
Foul.
the moment.
And a miss.
Of course, he can have as many goes as he wants
Junhui
because
4.
there's no red on that he can see. Ding back looking to see this is a slightly easier chance, but if he's not guaranteed a colour, keep putting it back.
Yeah, and it's the type of situation for Mark Selby that he's happy sacrificing loads of points to get that shot right, because he knows if he does leave Junhui at the top of the table,
I think he's
Ding's desperate. Ding's currently is desperate to try and pot a ball. I mean, that's why he's taking so much time. He's trying to tell himself he wants to pot some balls, but really he's got to put him back in.
Okay. Okay.
Perhaps he suspects that eventually Mark Selby's going to play this shot correctly.
a little bit like that. So he sacrificed 8 points, but old Satnav Selby got it right that time. He certainly knows his way around the snooker table. Well, he's pushed the red on and he hasn't got the snooker and the blues over the pocket. If he can get this around the back of the red, that's just behind the black, he'll be powering this in. I mean, now he's played it gently, he's played the cannon, and it's all gone wrong. He tried a delicate pot there to cannon the red to leave himself on the black. I thought he was going to punch it in because the blue was over the corner pocket. Now what a chance this is for Ding Junhui. best chance by far.
1.
How many can he make? That's the question.
The first shot he's got right. Is that red? Just a bit too wide. You can pot the black and clear the black spot. Could have come out better.
Eight.
I don't think he's the right side of this red, and he's got to be careful he doesn't pot the red and slide past the one to the left of it and then not be on a colour. So the position he finds himself in, whilst it looks ideal, needs a bit of resolving. It's a horrible angle. He's going to try and straighten this red up. Oh, he could flick it, it was okay.
9.
That's a terrible shot.
He thought he was going to miss that red. He could have screwed into that red and pushed it on, but he thought, I won't cannon the red. But as soon as you hit it with pace, he's
60.
accidentally just clipped the edge of the red.
Well, he potted it wide as well, which meant he got a bit more angle on the cue ball. So another cut. He's missed 2 already. And he's lost position.
17.
And once again, from an ideal position, unless he's going to really go for it, it's end of break. To play this yellow, big shot. I think it goes past the blue. Can't believe it's the right shot to play, but here we go. Is he playing it? Oh, great shot. I hated that shot.
19.
That's, you know, on offer. Did well to get position at all.
Yeah, he's having to work really hard. He hasn't been in ideal position for the last 3 shots. That's better. Fraser's got them back where he wants them.
Big shot, that red. I mean, the yellow was a big shot, but that consolidated things. Has given himself a chance to get his cue arm going. No. Or does that red go through the gap? Yes.
27.
His body language looked like it was okay, but...
$28.
Well, if he can get himself out of this mini rut early on and come out with
35.
A reasonable scoreline at the end of the session, that yellow could be a big turning point for him.
Junhui, 35.
That was a little lapse in concentration because he knew he had to power it in to get out onto the black, but Never give it a chance, as you can see. A chance for Mark Selby to get right back into this third frame. A chance he didn't think he was going to get, because Ding was starting to look good until he hit that one a little bit too hard.
8.
No, and it has to be said, Dennis, that the way Ding Junhui started off this match isn't anything directly to do with the way Mark Selby's playing. Mark Selby's just done his job. What a great shot that was to open the pack up. Cue ball went into the balls and then backspin again on it.
16.
Mark Selby's just doing his job.
But he's not ideal here by any means. The way he opened the reds, he could have finished absolutely perfect. This is a long one up into the corner past the blue. It's there.
17.
Oh, that seemed to come off quite quick. Yeah, but luckily this is not the red he played for, but they're so
24.
nicely placed when he opened them. He had options there.
Well, the cloth is very responsive, but perhaps Mark Selby's tip
25.
is also very responsive as well. There's a lot more meat on it than perhaps he would have wanted. Sometimes you can get a lot more screw back on. This would hurt Ding Junhui.
Well, the last frame really hurt when he didn't finish it off and potting the black
32.
and not getting on the yellow, and Mark getting the snooker and pinching it. They all hurt. Every frame
33.
you lose, but sometimes it's the way you lose them, because he was in again here was Ding.
Mark Selby looks in good shape. He's had the most
39.
table time. You'd expect him to clear these.
40.
It's like a practice lineup, that is, across the table. That's what the T lineup we do quite often. 5 reds between pink and black, 5 either side of the pink. He's so used to this position.
But of course, when you're out there in the final of the World Championship, it's a little bit different to a practice session, that's for sure.
46.
And we always say you never settle.
47.
No matter how long the match is, you never settle till you get the first frame on the board. And he let a golden chance slip by there. This was it.
Yeah, the pockets have been considered a bit on the big side this week, but with pace, you've still got to be accurate. Mark Selby a bit out of position here. Back. And if Mark Selby does go on to win this frame,
53.
massive frame, the next one. And as was mentioned in the
54.
studio, some work for Terry Griffiths. Coach the Ding Junhui. He won't be in a good shape, regardless of 3-1 or 4-0.
60.
Opened with a break of 91. Mark Selby. Junhui had a break
61.
of 52 in the second frame. And Ding knows that this frame is slipping away by the shot. .24 the difference.
67.
Doesn't matter the fact that the blue is blocking the path for the green into its natural pocket. The frame will be over by then.
68.
Just needs the pink. Just cannot afford to
74.
miss when you get a chance against Mark Selby, because this is what he'll do to you.
Yeah, and the way he closed out that match in the semi-final, it looked like he'd got his A game together.
76.
Just when he needed it most. He looks a different animal out there today. Okay, he's not potted every ball, but he's in control, more so than Ding Junhui at the moment.
Doesn't matter about the green.
Mark Selby, 76.
Ding, I'm sure, will concede while he's coming to the table, but barring lots of snookers, it's 3-0 to Mark Selby. 33 the difference, so 2 snookers to tie.
Great try. Not too sure he's going to get any points out of it, but I suppose there is the possibility, if Mark Selby can't get through to the green, going off the side cushion, there's the possibility of an in-off into the green pocket.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Mark Selby falls for that one, and but it is a possibility, swerving around the green. If he gets too much swerve, could possibly go in off it. Wasn't far off the in off that Steve predicted. The blue's in a great spot to get snookers behind. Couldn't get it thick enough to play up behind the blue that time, but what a good effort to get behind the black.
Brilliant effort.
This is quite a big swerve here. Now can he get in behind that blue?
Unlikely that he's going to get these foul points. Can get in behind the blue quite nicely, but just needs to get the topspin on right. Through the gap.
A little bit of swerve just needed. Might even go close to potting this. Look at this shot. He thought he potted that.
Tell you what, Dennis, this next frame is going to be a massive test of Ding Junhui's character. Don't really want to go on about it, but the worst we've ever seen Ding was when he was playing Ronnie and got outplayed and it all unravelled. And whilst, as we always say, you can't win the World Championship final in the first session, you can go a long way to losing it. He's got to dig in here. He knows this frame's a forlorn hope, really, but he's correct to give every shot due consideration.
There's not a great deal he can do here. He's having to swerve this with lots of side to try and create an angle. And he's got to try and keep the green safe, which he hasn't done. This will cut into the middle.
Three.
Don't think the brown passes the blue. Maybe it just squeezes in. Just about.
7.
Not making many mistakes, is he? The world #1, that's for sure.
And
hammers the pink into the middle pocket. It was the earlier break of 76 that did all the damage there. And what a start from Mark Selby. He's won another frame and he now leads Ding Junhui 3-0.
Yes, Ding's every shot under pressure, and he's not the only one, because 1997 champion Ken Doherty's got his cue out.
Yes, the famous demonstrations, and what a particular shot it could turn out for Ding Junhui there in that frame. A great steal from Mark Selby. But just have a look at this red he has along the cushion. Now, he's a little bit straight in it, so what he has to do, he has to power it in and force the cue ball out for the black. Now, the difference, this is the particular shot that Ding's played. So he's trying to play it off 2 cushions and trying to force it out. Now, the pockets have been said that they are quite generous, and that shot will show you. However, if Ding is just a little higher with the cue ball, so he's got a little more angle, all he has to do is drop it in just like that, and he'll be on the black, something like that. But it just shows you just that little fraction of the cue ball closer or a little bit more of an angle, and how much more easier that red would have been for Ding, and he would have gone on and won the frame. However, he tried to force it, misses the red, and subsequently Mark Selby steals it. It could be a very important red, that one for Ding.
Yeah, it could be a very important one. And indeed, next frame, as Steve and Dennis were saying in the commentary, how disconcerting a start is this for Ding Junhui, a man who was so fluent and so much in stroke yesterday.
Yeah, well, I said to John in that third frame there, it was sort of, this was the opportunity that against McManus you could say, well, the frame's over. You know, he was going to knock a centre in. He got perfect position. He got out of position a couple of times. He got it back through potting an excellent yellow, then an excellent long red. But the shot Ken was describing there, I mean, we said possibly you could follow it through off 2 cushions. You don't have to play it so hard. But it wasn't the wrong shot, because if it goes in, nobody pays any attention to it. But he's desperate to get a frame.
Honestly, that not playing for the yellow off the black in the second frame has really put him up against the 8 ball there. He needed to win that frame, and to have it stolen and to go 2-0 behind and now 3-0 behind, he's got himself in a terrible situation there.
He has, and I don't suppose history's any consolation to him at this point, but last year Sean Murphy was 3-0 up on Stuart Bingham, and the year before that Ronnie was 3-0 up on Mark Selby. It's certainly very early days, but worrying times, you have to say, for Ding Junhui.
It certainly is, Hazel. Worrying times for Ding Junhui and his army of fans around the world. mid-session interval coming after this frame, and the brown has just come to his rescue somewhat there. There's a red into the right corner, but he's hampered. This will just be a safety shot, you feel. See, playing someone like Mark Selby, your safety's got to be so good to try and force him into making a mistake. And not only one good safety shot, you've got to play a series of good safety shots until your opponent makes a mistake.
I think that's one of the tough things about playing a player like Mark Selby or a John Higgins. It's a tough enough game at the best of times without playing somebody who's such a strong match player. You know you've just got a tough day ahead of you. Can make the job seem even harder. And if Ding Junhui is in that frame of mind, that he thinks it's a more difficult job than it was previously in rounds before, and you put yourself under that little bit more pressure.
The cue ball's going to pull up short of the pocket. That was a good shot from Ding Junhui there. Had to play that with lots of side so that he didn't career into the reds. Well, this is an awkward shot. Surely he's not going to knock this one in. No, I didn't think so. But what a good shot he's played.
Currently, Mark Selby doesn't need to take any risks. He's hoping that Ding Junhui will just still be in panic mode. Just try and force the issue a fraction too much. Ding Junhui needs lots of patience for the rest of this session. Just try and play his way into the game naturally.
With his tactical play, Mark Selby. That's another perfectly played safety shot, but Mark ahead in the safety success department, as you can see there, and as you would expect.
He looks to have Ding Junhui in all sorts of trouble. Ding just coming off the top cushion to lay on the red on the side. That's all he could do. Nicely played.
That's typical. It's a touching ball, which makes it so much easier for Mark Selby. It's amazing for the cue ball to travel the distance that it did there and just land touching the red.
I think all Mark can do is to try and put the cue ball back in exactly the same place. Might get a, if he does, he might get a repeat performance by Ding Junhui. So, déjà vu.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Steve. That's all he's got available to him. Is it going to reach? I don't think so. And there's a red. Is there a red at the back of the bunch that will go?
Mark Selby 4.
And is the black available? Maybe not. No, the red won't go because Mark had a look at it. So now, you see, he can hit other reds. So it'll be interesting to see if he plays the same shot again. If he comes up short this time, you'll be warned because 3 misses from this situation and you lose the frame.
Can't afford to hit this shot too hard because any separation between white and red, and it does leave Mark Selby a sniff into the green corner pocket. This is harder. He's going to reach for sure.
But once again, he's going to be back in the same position, thin off the red, off the side cushion, over onto the ball cushion, somewhere behind the yellow. Tight to the cushion is what he's after. Not quite this time. There is an escape route for Ding Junhui to come down the left side of the table. He could even come down off the red that's near the right side cushion. Half ball off that. He's had a look at that and he's back looking at it again. As long as he avoids the double kiss, the white will head up towards the green. It's a little bit short of pace though. He may have left one on here. Or maybe not.
Certainly a long-range tempter for Mark Selby on the left of the table. Screw back into the bottom half of the table.
Tell you what, Steve, there's not a lot wrong with that new tip when you knock that type of shot in.
It's fantastic. How to keep the heat on your opponent in one easy lesson. And it's not, that wasn't defensive, that was taking it by the scruff of the neck. So whilst there's plenty of people at home think that Mark Selby's a defensive, destructive player on the table by dragging his opponent into drawn-out tactical play, in essence, is the ultimate match player.
4.
Well, he's got them nicely
5.
placed now. There's at least 4 reds that are available before he'd have to go into the bunch here. Look at the number of points, 305 to 119. And every chance now that it could be 4-0. An awful long way to go here, but he's in the mood, is Mark Selby.
12.
The second frame, so important for Ding Junhui to have won. He let Mark Selby back in, and he
13.
smells blood. A long way to go. He's looking like a machine at the moment.
Well, I keep harping on about it, but what a decision to take the tip off after winning a semi-final against Marco Fu. I was talking to Bobby, his good friend. He
20.
said the tip is just too hard. He's not comfortable with it. Brave decision, and it's paid off by the looks of things. It's always a risk.
21.
The pack looks relatively tight, but there's a couple of reds at the top as we look on our screen that go.
28. $29.
He's got one to the right of the pink spot. Goes into the right corner. And that's probably the one he's going to play on.
It looked as if they were all covering each other, but there is
36.
one available. The one closest to the pink goes.
$37.
Just played for that loose red, and he's got an angle here to bring more reds into play. There's the number
42.
of balls potted throughout the tournament. Look at that. That's incredible. All square. Not now, though, and that's a terrific
43.
shot. Let's have a glance. The red next to the black might be a little awkward, but he took the opportunity to bring more reds into play there. He's already 47 points in front and looking good for 4-0.
I'm not exactly sure if he knew that was going to be the outcome, but he decided to play it as a screw back rather than running through for the black. And if he did read that screw back exactly as he played it, that's fantastic.
49.
The jester.
$50.
Well, the cannon didn't work out. He was hoping to push the pink on there. So now medium range blue required to clinch the frame. You would say this was the main shot. And look at that shot. Right on the red next to the black. He really is
55.
in fine form in this final. This is probably the best he's played. He had a terrific final session against Mark O'Fu. And he didn't quite
56.
get the side on that, so he needs one more good shot. Just a delicate little cannon could clinch this frame. Just a little delicate cannon there needed. He's hit the other one, but that's fine. Any cannon was going to do.
$63.
Ding Junhui has shown weakness here in this opening session. Mark Selby has done his job and has shown great strength. And I don't think anybody thought that there'd be a 4-0 scoreline. We thought that Ding Junhui was likely to continue in the same vein. He's looked very comfortable in this tournament so far. You just never know what's going to happen, especially at the start of a match. Oh, it's drifted, just got it.
64.
Thought that was drifting to the near jaw. Damage limitation for Ding Junhui for the rest of this session.
$69.
Mark Selby's had 7 centuries in this year's World Championship. There's been 81 so far. The record is 86.
70.
That was set last year. But this has been superb from the world number 1. He has made 45 century breaks this season.
77.
416 in his
78.
career. There's a little smile on his face
85.
there. He's enjoying himself. He's totally at ease with his game. What a start.
'86.
Beautifully played, the way he nudged that red past the pink spot.
92.
He's going to take some stopping here in this
93.
year's final, that has to be said. The winner here 2 years ago, that magnificent victory over Ronnie O'Sullivan. An awful long way to go, but there's another magnificent century break from Mark Selby.
100.
Well, I think
101.
Junhui is going to have to head to the practice table and have a chat with his mentor, Terry Griffiths. We know that the mid-session interval can change things around. Will it? That's the question.
106.
Kyron Wilson still holds the high break, a break of 143, £10,000 for the high break. And Kyron's getting married in 6 weeks' time, and he's hoping to use that £10,000 towards his wedding, but it could go here in this final.
115.
It's a lot of marzipan, isn't it?
$120.
An exhibition type positional shot there, low to side. Doesn't matter about the pink. Tried another exhibition positional shot. What a start for the world #1. Mark Selby has played 4 and he's won 4. He goes to the mid-session interval 4-0 in front.
Well, this is a turn-up. After Ding's devastating form over the last few days in the semi-final, many expected this man to be hanging on to the coattails or the waistcoat tails of Ding Junhui today, but that is not how it has worked out. 4-0 up, and a total contrast to the form that Mark showed in his last final here in 2014 when he was down and very, very difficult to come back against Ronnie O'Sullivan. He did manage it then. But that was the 82nd century of our championship this year, and we're only 4 away from the record which was achieved last year in what was Stuart Bingham's year. And it's been a very interesting start to this final. I really hope you're enjoying it. There's a long way to go here, but how positive has Mark Selby looked in himself and his form in comparison to the last few rounds?
He is an absolutely wonderful match player. He really is. He seized on the opportunity in the second frame. He knows how much that's going to hurt Ding, and since then he's just been exemplary in everything he does. He's given him absolutely nothing to look at. The long red he's knocked in there is brilliant, and the break he's made. He's upped his game considerably from what he's been showing so far, certainly in the scoring department. And the fact he's doing it with a brand new tip, which has got me bamboozled, I don't know how he's managing to do that, is just exceptional. And now we know, as we've always have done, why he's world #1.
Yes, and he's been world #1 on and off since 2011. He's been there or thereabouts for a very long time. If he wins the title, he'll remain at world #1, by the way. We'll discuss that a little bit later. But Obi-Wan Griffiths, that's what they're calling him. Terry Griffiths is going to have to weave his magic once again with Ding Junhui here.
Yeah, and I think as Ding normally does, he'll go straight to the practice table. I mean, even when he was playing McManus, he was winning frames with centuries, he went straight to the practice table. So he'll be there, and I thought Terry won't say, having been with Terry, he won't be saying too much. He'll just be like trying talking to him, just even about general things, not even about snooker, just to try and lighten the mood a little bit, because Ding will be feeling, he'll be heavy, he'll be feeling heavy at the moment. He's under extreme pressure, and until he gets that first frame, it's going to be it's just desperate to get that first.
Yeah, he'd go in and knock a few balls around it, because obviously you don't get to see too many when you play against Mark, and obviously he's in some respects, at the early part of this match, he's got himself under pressure by his own mistakes. You know, he's not been anywhere near. Stephen mentioned the chances that he was getting at Alan McManus, they were all gone. He made a couple of messes there, lost cue ball control. But this is more a test of character than his snookering ability, what he's got on his plate this afternoon.
Yeah, there were a couple of dodgy shot selections, as you guys pointed them out, and that's put himself under pressure right from the off. But you could possibly explain those because of the occasion, but he's been punished so severely for them.
Yeah, I mean, you could possibly put a reason on his playing these shots. He maybe sees that he doesn't want to get involved in Mark Selby's game of tactical battle. So he's maybe that was a plan when he came out. I'm just going to go for anything, and just maybe put Mark Selby on the back foot, maybe do something that he doesn't expect. But talking about Mark Selby now, he's in just a lovely position in a final. He's just so relaxed. You're so relaxed now. You're 4-0 ahead. You can just relax and play his game. He's under no pressure. He's not been put under any pressure at the minute. But it's just a great place to be in the final when you've got your opponent on the back foot.
It's a dream start. He's a bit like the Floyd Mayweather of snooker. This fella. There's all sorts come up. They all try. There's attacking people. There's slow people. There's that. Just finds a way to win.
He's got everything. I mean, what does Ding do? You're 4-0 behind. Do you attack? Well, he's tried that.
He's tried it, yeah, exactly.
Do you try and beat him tactical? Well, that ain't going to happen. So, what is it? He's just got to get in first, Ding, in every frame and clear up in every frame. He's got to go back to the way he played against McManus. If not, this could be an early finish.
Easier said than done from his point of view. So much to ponder. Thank you very much, guys. And let's lighten the mood a little bit from Ding's perspective anyway, because over the last 2 weeks here, we've been royally entertained and no little informed by the Quizmaster Supreme Stephen Fry. So here he is once again with Snooker's version of QI.
Hello again. Now this week we've unearthed some odd, curious and we hope interesting facts about our favourite game, snooker. Some have been wickedly tenuous, I have to admit, but today's teaser falls into the category of general ignorance. You'll definitely think you know the answer. So fingers on buzzers, prime the klaxon and join in on social media using the hashtag QI. Tell me, which player has won the most World Snooker Championship titles? We'll talk more in a short while.
Easy, surely. Or is it? You decide. All right, well, we're going to talk about the match referee today, Paul Collier, the Welshman who's taking charge. He's the man in the middle for the second time in the Crucible. Last did so, 12 years ago, 2004 final, Ronnie against Graham Dodd. But there are many strings to this man's bow, because you probably saw him with a little bit of cue surgery on Marco Fu's cue in their semi-final. And he plays a rather large part in the running of the sport behind the scenes as well. This is a very proud day for him.
This is the one that you always want to be at. You know, I've been lucky, I've refereed all over the world. You've seen history written in that arena. It's just a wonderful place, you know, they call it the Theatre of Dreams, which is pretty much what it is. It's very special.
The youngest man ever to officiate in a world final, Paul Collier.
Quiet, please. Frame 26, Graham Dodd to break. It's a bit like Stuart Bingham said last year, you know, his name's on the trophy now and nobody can ever take that away. And that was pretty much how I felt. It was a very proud time. I'm 45 years of age, I've been watching the game over 30 years, and it all started with the Crucible.
Almost showtime, ladies and gents. Please welcome your referee, Paul Collier.
It's all about concentration. I think if you can concentrate, you've cracked it. If you can interpret the shots and you can interact with the players, if you can make the players respect you, then it's just so much easier. There's some players like to be a little bit involved, they like to have a little laugh. And there's other players who, you know, they won't even look at you, they'd rather not be involved, they get in their zone, and you just deal with people different ways. People have said sometimes they watch us at the black end of the table because you've got two cameras there, you've got a player there, and you're almost dancing with it. You don't even notice you're doing it, really. You know, you're working with the cameramen, you know they want to get the right shots. I don't think I'll ever make Strictly. It's nice, you know, because being a player myself, I do watch the players' techniques and the actions as well, and You know, you see the way they time the ball for certain shots, and it's sort of things to help you concentrate. I didn't really set out wanting to be a referee. I wanted to play the game. We had a great circuit in South Wales. You know, you'd travel every weekend, you could go somewhere. You'd be down in Neath was particularly, I suppose the phrase hotbed is the right word down there. I remember doing matches years ago in clubs, doing quarterfinals of the Welsh Championship and things like that, where you're in a club where there's maybe 60, 70 people crammed around a table, they're all drinking beer. That's when you learn your trade, that's when it's difficult. You know, you're having to tell people to be quiet all the time. You're having to tread over their feet, you know, try not to trip over because they're that close to the table. So you've already gone through all that. So when you get to an arena like the Crucible, really it should be a lot easier for you then. The first stint of professional refereeing I did was at Norbreck Castle in Blackpool in 1992, which was the year the game went open, and the likes of Mark Williams and Ronnie and John Higgins and all turned pro was also my first season. There's a company called Alston Elliott who still do the TV graphics. They filmed Pot Black Time Frame, and that was played in a two-day break we had in Blackpool, so I stayed up there and just worked with them on that, and that led to them offering me a job, and I spent 9 years with them. I took 5 years out from the game. I didn't see a way back, to be fair. I did think the game's days were numbered. When Barry got involved, I had a phone call and he said, well, I got an offer for you, you know, we've got options now in the tournament director side of things and we think that you'd fit that role. I've learned a lot being a tournament director. There's things that, you know, you don't appreciate as a referee. You turn up at events and you think they just happen. You've got 11 tables on a truck that tours all around Europe, you know, the boys come, they put them in, we rig the scoring kit, we do the administration, and job done, and it's quite satisfying. It's a good time to be involved in the game, definitely. The assessing of referees I enjoy. It's nice that we can find enough good referees for what we want. And tournaments like the Welsh, they're a very good grounding for people. You know, you can bring them in, give them experience with the paying public, in big arenas, and with all the best players. The concentration is the big thing for them. You suddenly put them out in a room where there's 10 other tables that they can see every table, they can see all the players, they can see the audience moving around. It's learning to concentrate in that environment.
Settle down now, please.
I was 20, 21, 22 when I first started off, and I was by far the youngest then. Nobody really came along for years and years after, but there's so many now in that age group, you know, the early 20s, and they're there for the right reasons. And seeing them come through, it is great. You know, there's some of them that the improvement in some of these referees from sort of 2, maybe 3 years ago when they started to the level they're at now is brilliant. And if I see, you know, one of those people that I've been able to help or, you know, bring along and develop, if they did the World Final, that would be awesome. I'm probably a slightly better referee than I was the last time I did it because I've learnt more as the years have gone by. When I called it a day, I thought I'd probably never work the Crucible again in any format. Going up a level now, it's going to be special.
And he's doing a fine job, as he always does. He's a terrific person, isn't he? And he's a very, very good referee.
Oh, he's top class. He's been around a long time as well, Paul. I've got a lot of time for him. As nearly all the referees who are on there. I mean, they're all really good lads and good ladies, obviously.
Indeed.
Yeah, but fantastic. But he's been around a long, long time doing his job.
It's encouraging to see, and I was actually asking behind the scenes, there are over 150 referees now on the professional circuit. Wow, that really does show you the growth of the game right around the world, doesn't it?
Yeah, and like the age of the referee. I mean, I don't understand why personally why they would want to be a snooker ref, but it's great. I mean, obviously the 150 is incredible.
Huge asset to have the concentration, the focus. Could you do it?
Yeah, I could do that. I actually enjoy watching the game and everything. I mean, I wouldn't referee him. Obviously, I wouldn't fancy picking all the balls out for him again. But, no, I could. Yeah, I think so. But you do have to have a lot of focus, a lot of concentration. I mean, you can occasionally miss things now and again as well. But listen, it takes a lot of.
Can you imagine being a ref in that frame yesterday?
Oh, the long one, yeah,
76
minutes, yeah. Yeah, that's where focus and concentration comes
exactly,
in,
yeah.
and good bladder control as well, you have to say, yeah. Let's not go there. He's a very handy man to know as well, as he proved with Marco Fu, actually, because he was the guy that did that surgery on Marco's cue when the tip fell off in the middle of the semi-final. It's a good job he was there as well.
Yeah, and he did. And speaking of good job, that's exactly what he did, because obviously that had to go right back on in virtually the same way it came off. Difficult with the super glue when you've got a tip that's flush to the cue, and he did a great job with it.
OK, well, well done to Paul, and indeed he's got another, day and a half of work here in this final. But Stephen Fry's set you another interesting question today. Did you get it right? Let's find out.
So we're deep into the second week at the Crucible in this year's World Championship. Our brains are by now perhaps a little addled after countless frames of snooker, hence the apparently easy question today: which players won the most world titles in snooker? Surely these guys will know that.
Now, is this a trick question? Is it a lady or a gentleman?
Well, Joe Davis won the most anyway, to start with.
20 times undefeated.
Yeah. Rhiannon Evans has won, is it 10 or 11?
11, she's won.
11, so, and I've won 7. So it ain't me.
What have you won? 1?
Me?
2? 6, OK. You've won 6, Henry's won 7.
Well, you can't talk about modern era ever since it started. It'd have to be Joe Davis.
Joe Davis.
Joe Davis.
Selby.
Joe Davis.
Joe Davis.
This has got to be a catch question, because it's too obvious.
Yeah.
So where's the catch?
Oh, minus 10 points to you if you said Stephen Hendry, because of course it's Davis. We'll come to that. The owner of 7 titles, Stephen Hendry, surely he's the winner. I mean, surely. Davis didn't get more than that. He only got 6, didn't he? Oh, no. Wait. Dear Stephen Hendry, you may have the monopoly of success here at the Crucible, but the World Championship has been going for a lot longer than we have been coming to Sheffield. There was no fooling our great champions, of course. They are absolutely right. The answer is the all-conquering Davis, not Steve, but Joe. Joe Davis won 15 world titles in a row between 1927 and 1946. Joe, along with his brilliantly talented and rather comical brother, Fred, was born in Whitwell in Derbyshire. They were the sons of a miner turned publican, and the premises of the pub contained a full-size billiard table, and the rest, really, is snooker history and legend. Joe became a genius at the game, despite the fact that he couldn't focus with his right eye. Or maybe because, who knows? He was the driving force in setting up the very first professional world championship in 1927 at Campkins Hall in Birmingham. 10 players signed up, each paying the 5 guineas entry fee. And with that money, they purchased the trophy with the little lady on the top that is still played for today. Joe retired from competitive snooker in 1946, but his younger brother Fred went on, I remember watching him, to win the world title 8 times and continued to play well into old age. Indeed, Fred was 70 when he appeared for the last time at the Crucible in 1984. And don't forget another Englishman, John Pullman, also someone I watched on television. He won the last of his 8 world titles in 1968. So Stephen Hendry owns, yes, the modern-day Crucible era record of 7, which may never be beaten. But whisper it, he's actually the 4th on snooker's all-time list of World Championship winners. Just don't tell him that I said that, or he'll come out of retirement and he'll probably get another 8.
So what do you think, Stephen? Out of retirement? 4th.
Not happy.
I knew you wouldn't be happy with that. But the question remains, John, how many will Mark Selby get? And is this going to be number 2?
Well, at the moment, the way the opening session's gone, I'd have to say a big emphatic yes, because at the moment he's bossing the table, he's bossing control of what's going on. Hopefully, the interval for Ding Junhui has made a difference, and Terry Griffiths has made a difference, but this is really a test of character now for Ding in this session with what's coming up.
It is. By the way, if you are Steve Ashfield, Nathan Brooks, Tim Hurrell, Simon White, and so many more of you got that right, that QI question, congratulations, 150 points each. Now settle down for the second part of this session. John Virgo, Ken Doherty in the box now.
Yes, thank you, Hazel. And you've got to say, Ken, a big 4 frames here for Ding Junhui.
Yeah,
Absolutely, he would have been in the practice room with Terry. I suppose, John, situations like this, you've just got to forget about the previous 4 frames. You know, you've got another 4 frames ahead of you. Try and get a few frames on the board. I mean, if Ding can come out his next 4 frames 3-1, he's well back in the game. Of course, but of course the pressure builds, as you always say in commentary. Until you get that first frame on the board, pressure's going to build on Ding. And Mark Selby, on the other hand, is a master in this situation. He's going to keep the pressure on.
Absolutely, he'll thrive on this, won't he? But that second frame that Ding Junhui lost when he'd made the 52 break and Mark needed a snooker, apparently he walked out the arena, he punched his dressing room door, you know. It's frames like that that really hurt you when you lose them.
Yeah, and frames like that you win as well, they give you a great boost. So yeah, you don't see a lot of emotion from Ding Junhui, but he punched the table as well when he was going out. He was really annoyed. They really do annoy you, those type of frames, particularly when you lose them.
Yeah, and let's not underestimate the fact that this is the biggest match of his life, and he's got the hopes of a country resting on those narrow shoulders. Just got to relax and get himself in this match. And as you say, and I agree, he won't really relax until he gets that first frame on the scoreboard. It'll come, but he wants it sooner rather than later. Yeah, excellent safety there from Mark Selby. There's been talk about the fact he put a new tip on last night, but so far he must be very pleased the way it's reacting.
Yeah, saw him in the practice room before the match started, and he said he had a half an hour of it last night, even after his match, when he probably would have been very, very tired because the match went on so long. But he seemed pretty happy with it, practicing, and particularly not just playing the pots, John, but it's sometimes playing the safety where that particular shot where you're trying to swing it around 4 cushions, and unless particularly with a new tip, if it's not gripping, you know, those shots can go very wrong. But he seems to be okay.
Well, Ding Junhui now has got a problem here. I can't see him playing this pot, but if he tries to just rest the cue ball in the top cushion, he could get the double kiss here. In the end, he went for the pot, thinking if it rattled the jaws, he wouldn't be leaving much, or nothing that easy. He's left something, but it was one of those situations, couldn't get back to balk, thought he might be able to pot his way out of trouble. This red that Mark's going to take on, if it was a natural, it'd be fine. He's digging in, he's going to try and pot it and just can the red above it to stay on the black. Digging in makes the pot harder, but it's right in the heart of the pocket. Couldn't have played it better. Beautiful shot.
Eight.
He has a slight angle, but may not attempt to go into the pack of reds. Potting this red may just... Well, he decided to, and he's played it very well. He just had a slight angle there, but managed to force it. Just have a look at the cue ball here. He's forced the angle.
Yeah, that was a terrific shot from Mark, because as you well know, when you're trying to force an angle, you take a lot of pace out of the cue ball.
16.
Have to go up for the black now. I'm sorry, up for the blue. He can't retain position on the black.
17.
So there'll be a few disappointed people in the arena. I've seen quite a few people in. I was at Crucible Corner, and the sponsors are laying 40 to 1 a maximum break in this session.
They get excited, don't they, when a few reds and blacks have gone in. This cue ball needs to run. Now, is he on this red?
He's not.
22.
He's getting down. He's not playing it. He's just seeing whether he can reach it. The problem with this, it's the yellow ball. That will be his concern. Can he get down properly on the shot and not touch the yellow?
Free Paul Collier having a keen eye on Max Selby's waistcoat there. Oh, that's a good plot.
23.
Very nicely played. And nicely on the black as well. Judged it perfectly. A little bit of right hand side. Just checking the cue ball up off the side cushion. You see, 255 points
30.
now without reply.
And there's a surprise. He was just standing up for the blue, so he wasn't doing a lot with the cue ball. That's a bad miss. Now Junhui needs to take advantage of these opportunities. Wide.
One.
Well, not a bad little kiss there. He's got a nice straight blue into the yellow pocket. Just screw back a few inches for the red beside the pink. You can see the red that's just on the pink spot will
6.
stop the pink being respotted. So that's what he's just having a look at. If he pots this red, leaves the cue ball where the red is, and we can just drop the pink into the left center. Pink will
7.
go up onto the yellow spot, and the red that's on the pink spot clearly pots into this bottom right hand corner pocket.
Gets to 68 points. And there'll be snookers required.
14.
Nicely on this red.
21.
He's going to need a nice split off
22.
this pack of reds, and he's purposely left himself low on this black.
He's stuck to the red. Now, can he get through to
29.
this red to the left middle? It's touch and go. He's just on it. And this blue will play 65 points in front with just 75 remaining. So just another red and a colour, and it'll be another frame on the scoreboard.
Sure. Yeah, got a heavy contact there, but he's still on the red. Let's have a look at the
35.
cue ball. The blue just bouncing, slightly taking a bit of the pace out of the cue ball, but still okay. But Ding, that misread. He'd be looking, trying to get this frame on the board as quickly as possible. At the moment, it's all Mark Selby.
36.
The longer it goes on, the more difficult it becomes.
After his victory last night,
41.
I saw Mark Selby, and he said that the last session he played against Marco Fu was the best
42.
he'd felt all tournament. And the way he started off this final, he's carrying it in today. New tip or not, he looks in good stroke and looks very confident.
47.
And like all champions, when they get the noses in front, they're not going to keep looking behind
48.
for dangers. They're going to look ahead at the winning line. So this early in the match, worrying times for Ding Junhui.
55. $56.
Yeah, I don't think he's played his best at all throughout the tournament, Mark Selby, compared to maybe a couple of years ago when he did win this championship. Made that wonderful comeback against Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final. But he's got
63.
one of those type of games, John, that even when he's not playing at his best, his second part of his game, his B game as we sometimes call it,
64.
It's still so good. He's so consistent. It makes it so difficult for his opponent. Doesn't give you anything very easy.
Well, if he's going to make
69.
back-to-back centuries, and he's a good shot here. And solid, very
70.
solid, and got a nice angle on the block. The problem is the yellow not being on its spot needs a good positional shot. Oh, well, he was playing it with a ton of left-hand
Well,
side. That made the
on the
putt
frame.
missable, and he did. But once again, he wins the frame, and Ding Junhui didn't score a point again. So Mark Selby racing away with this at the moment, 5-0.
He is, and what can Ding Junhui do about it? And his coach, Terry Griffiths, who's been in his corner for the last season or so, now with Steve in the press room.
Yes, well, actually, Hazel, down in the practice room with Terry, where you went into the interval on the table with Ding. Worrying times.
Very much so, yes. I mean, you know, he hasn't really settled down. Mark's taken full advantage of all Ding's errors, and it's a tough old place. I mean, it's just typical, isn't it? Professional snooker. One day you're up and next day you're down.
You're the foremost coach in the game now. You've had plenty of experience of coaching the top players in the game, and also respected as more of a mind coach these days, delving into that. But what do you say to Ding Junhui? How long have you known him? What do you say to him?
In the interval, obviously, once he finishes his practice, he always likes to come in and have a little bit of practice. So I have 5 minutes with him, little chat, just try and calm him down a little bit. Obviously, he's very disappointed with his performance, you know, to date. And then I'll just try and get him going out there in a little bit more positive mind. It's very difficult to get him from where he was to a positive mind in a few minutes, I can tell you. But have a go. And sometimes I shout at them, and sometimes I coax them around.
Obviously, it's damage limitation for the rest of this session, but then what would you say to him, regardless, in the interval before tonight?
I haven't really thought about that yet. I mean, I'd like to see the score first, obviously, before I make a decision. I'm pretty flexible because I got used to this. I've done it so many times, here, the Crucible and other places. So I've got a lot of things I can use. It's just a matter of how, the player absorbs the information I give him, to be honest with you. I'm no genius. It's Sting's the genius. I'm just there to try and prepare him a little bit better to go out and play.
OK, well, we won't keep you. We'll get you back to the agony. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I think that's the key, isn't it, John? It's trying to keep Ding in a positive frame of mind. Very difficult. Now, okay, here's your chance, Ding. You feel he just needs an easy chance like this just to get his arm going, get a few points on the board, give himself a bit of confidence. I'm easily trying to get the black back on its spot.
Eight. Nine.
Nice angle on the black now. He can screw into the pack and still be on the red. The loose red into this bottom right hand corner pocket. That's pretty good. That's more like it.
Yes, played the positive shot. It's not easy to do when you're struggling to get your first frame on the scoreboard, but it was the right shot and he played it well. Just got to be a little bit careful here. It's a delicate shot, this. It was okay.
17.
It's a little bit thinner, but he played it nicely. I wouldn't say he's perfect on the black. He may just be able to force the angle. A little bit short on the red, but that's understandable. When you're trying to force the angle, the last thing you needed to do was go too far up the table.
24.
So up for the blue. Needs a good angle on the blue.
$25.
Played it nicely.
I'm just wondering, would he play the positive shot? Blue into the left centre, cue ball straight into the pink, the top of the pack. Oh, he's played it very nicely indeed. Didn't have to hit it with a lot of pace. And just very nicely controlled and brought a few more reds into play, and he's nicely on this red into the corner pocket. That was a lovely shot, John, wasn't it? He didn't have to play that with a lot of pace.
Absolutely, and the fact that he didn't play a lot of pace was that he believed he was going to hit it right. You know, sometimes if you're in a stage of a match where you're not going to frame on the board, you feel as though you just want to hit them hard and hope you're going to be on something, but it was a controlled cannon. He'd like to have been a little straighter on this black, though. All the reds are there now. He didn't need to play another cannon, but I'm afraid he's going to have to. The angle he's got, but on the black. That was the problem. If it had been straighter on the black, there was enough loose reds to win the frame.
38.
He wasn't. And with this angle, he had to go into him again, and it can always go wrong. And it has.
Yeah, and I was a little bit tentative, that one. That was a time where he needed to inject a bit more pace into the cue ball when he played that. Understandably, a little bit more tentative. He was almost like he was making sure of the black. But that's end of break. Now he needs a good cue ball here, tight on the ball cushion.
Don't want to catch the bump in the middle pocket here. That's okay, he just did well.
Junhui 38.
Good cue ball, but he'll be disappointed. Should have made more there. Just coming up to the 2-hour mark. And Ding Junhui at the moment, nothing to show for his efforts. This was a decent safety, but not quite the line. Another inch or two over, and he could have got that cue ball tight in behind the green. That pink somewhat blocking the path now to the left corner pocket. This looks a better line. Well, once again, just a fraction out. But if somebody could get that cue ball in behind the green, certainly have the advantage in this frame. Very important tactical battle this. Mark Selby knows that he can't afford to let Ding Junhui have the next chance, with Ding already having a 38-point advantage. Of course, Ding knows if he gives Mark the next chance, that lead could count for nothing. Swinging it round off 2 cushions. Good length with the cue ball. And with that red in the middle of the table next to the blue, puts a lot of pressure now on Ding Junhui to get this cue ball safe.
Yeah, the fact that he's so close with the cue ball to this ball cushion, so he can't play. Of course, the 4 cushion escape route back to balk. He's got to be very careful, as you said. Well, that was a very strange shot indeed.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I don't think the red closest cue ball passes, and the red behind the black, if he hadn't got the double kiss, would have been a little bit easier than it is now. But does this red pass the pink? It's tight, isn't it? Maybe half the pocket available, but if you were right behind it, you'd fancy knocking it in.
Could be. High-pitched whine up the top. Everybody can hear it in you.
This may be worth
Ollie's
having a
phone
go.
now, so we can find out what it is.
There seems to be a little high-pitched noise in the arena. Just disturbing Mark slightly, asking the referee. It's worth having a go at this, bringing the cue ball back up into bog. Good shot. Oh, he's got a nice little bump off the middle pocket as well, just to keep the cue ball out in the middle of the table and nicely on the yellow. That was a nice little bonus. Just have a look at the cue ball here. Good pot. Just that little knuckle off the middle pocket. Still would have been on the green, but this a lot easier, of course. It tells us the red next to the blue pots, and he's perfect. Couldn't have hit that much better.
3.
We'd love to get that pink away from that bottom left-hand corner pocket. Maybe not from this red. Maybe take the blue and then one of the red, but it needs that pink out of the way, back on its spot.
4.
So pot the blue, the red at the bottom of the pack. We'll pot into this bottom right-hand corner pocket.
Nine.
This red he's potting now. Okay, it's the only ball that was on, but playing for the pink, as Ken suggested, it's just a little bit more difficult because the reds that are now available all go to the left corner pocket, which he's clearing the pink from, but he's got a little bit to do with the cue ball. You wouldn't think it'd be a problem, but he's going to be at full stretch, using the extended rest, extended extension on his cue. So you've got to be careful with this one. Yeah, played it nicely. Still 22 points behind.
16.
He's going to need the awkward red on the side cushion to clinch the frame at this visit.
17. 24. 25.
I think the bottom one of the three reds that almost in line will go to the right corner. Forced it in. Now he's 6 points behind. The 4 reds, 4 blacks will be 32, which would put him 26 points in front
32.
with 35 remaining. So that red on the left-hand side cushion he needs.
33.
That could be Ding Junhui's only hope here. That could be a big stumbling block for Mark.
Sure.
Well, I'll never get into that cue ball.
40.
He's blessed with tremendous cue power, but didn't strike cue ball that well. He's getting the cue ball clean. Maybe he did get a heavy contact, but didn't look like he got a proper strike on the cue ball there. He's running away from the reds now.
Well, is he looking? Does he think if he cuts this red in, he can cannon that awkward red that he needs? That would be a bonus if he could get the cannon and the pot. No, it wasn't on. And kiss the blue the wrong side. Don't see many more at this visit now.
Yeah, there's no value really taking on the brown. It's very odds against the potting that brown and getting back up for the red. So typical match player that he is, he's going to keep the pressure on his opponent, try and get the cue ball behind the green. And that looks pretty good. Excellent shot.
Mark Selby, 41.
Sort of forcing Ding into, well, the easy escape is obviously the red on the left-hand side cushion, but of course Ding very reluctant to bring that out into play.
Yeah, we know how costly the miss rule can be if you keep missing it. Hit and hope, do you think, Ken? For one of those 2 reds to the left of the pink? At least he's got that insurance of the red near the left cushion. I wouldn't want to bring that into play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. There is one possible escape. I'll just try and put a line up, but it would, I mean, this is such a delicate shot, and you've got to play it almost dead weight, and if he doesn't hit it right, he'll possibly leave a red to the left centre. But that is a possible escape. He could play this with a bit of pace and try and hit the reds and just trust a little bit of luck. But again, I'm never certain of where the reds are going to finish up.
I mean, I see your line, and that's the way to hit the reds. Personally, I'd come down the other side, dig down, swerve round the yellow, and come into them with pace from the left-hand side of the table. Just, you never know, you might knock the pink on the cushion, you might knock a red on the cushion.
Yeah.
Just trying to run up to this red near the cushion, but as you say, well, that's a nothing shot. I don't know what he's played there.
Foul. And a miss. Mark Selby, 4.
Well, that's a show of nerves, if ever I saw them, because I'm not quite sure what he was trying to lay into the red on the left-hand side cushion, or trying to come off side cushions,
yeah.
2 side cushions, and maybe come up the back of these reds.
Yeah, I think that was his plan.
But I mean, he's under. Hit that by quite a considerable margin. I think he's got to try the 2 cushion escape, John, and maybe just hit and hope for the best here.
Harder this time. Now, has he got the line? It looks pretty good to me. It looks very good. Brilliant! Brilliant!
Super shot. And not only did he hit the red, but Mark Selby can pot this red. That was a tremendous escape.
Mark thinking about the possibilities of playing out the awkward red that he'll have to contend with if he's going to win the frame, if he gets a chance. But he doesn't feel as though he can get a good safety off that red. I think mainly because he's hampered. Yeah, good safety. And Junhui with the problem here. He doesn't really want to bring this red away from the left-hand side cushion, but obviously he feels that that's the only guaranteed safety. But even playing this one, he's got to get round the back of the black. If he plays one of the reds that's near the pink, he's got to be careful. If he catches it too thick, he could run into the red on the side cushion. Nothing will look easy to Junhui at the moment. Decided just to play the containing shot. Well, he's left it safe, but that's all. He's not going to gain any advantage from playing it like that. But sometimes the balls dictate what shots you play. Good shot from Mark, covering the two reds in the middle of the table, so I think no other option here but to play this red. Played it with a lot of side. Oh, and the kiss on the blue has ruined it. He didn't get the kiss on the blue. He may have found the baulk cushion. The yellow may have helped to cover this red. But here's a chance for Mark Selby.
All right, stop calling out now, please.
And the three reds now are in the open. He has a 7-point advantage.
Good pot. The red just left of the pink, not below it, the one just beside it will pot into the left-hand corner pocket. We can stay on the pink, just drop this in, stay on the pink. 15 ahead. Two reds, two colours. Just having a look at the pink respot.
Nine.
Obviously, having another close look. It looks like it won't spot on its own spot. It will go on the blue spot, and it just wants to make sure.
Yeah, and of course you can't ask the referee to get a ball and try and put it on. You've got to judge it with your own eyes. But I like you, Ken. I don't think the pink will go back on its spot.
Well, there's plenty of room, and that's why he's come around the same side.
50.
Well, the way he was looking, yeah, obviously he had to play for the red in the same pocket. Just red, pink or black required.
16.
There'll be no heroics with this black. This black to go 30 points in front with 27 remaining. Just make certain of the pot. That's what he'll be thinking.
$23.
Another excellent long pot.
25.
32 points ahead. We want to make sure of this green. 2 4-point snookers required from Ding now. Looks good.
28.
I don't think after the performances from both players in their respective semi-finals, nobody would have expected
32.
A session like this from Mark Selby. 6-0 now. Well, he doesn't bother about the blue, and Ding Junhui goes off, but he has a mountain to climb. There's 2 frames left in this session, and it's all Mark Selby at the moment. He leads Ding by 6 frames to 0.
It's a bit of a shocking scoreline, you've got to say. This is the man who scored more points than anyone has ever done in a Crucible semi-final yesterday. And look at it.
7 centuries, he's had a 35, a 38 and a 52 today. He's been completely kept off the table. The quality of Mark's match play, even when he loses position, you come up to the table, next minute you're snookered behind the blue or you're up on the cushion somewhere, he gives you absolutely nothing. And he's just sitting there, Ding, watching it, and he's getting continually sickened by what's happening.
It is just not his type of game here, Stephen.
No, and when he is getting in, he's had a couple of chances in the frame so far where he's been in a situation where we'd expect him to clear up. And he's just playing, because of the situation he's in, the desperation to get a frame, he's just playing little tentative shots into the pack. He's not been as positive as he normally is. Subsequently he's not getting good position, so everything's a struggle. But he needs to win these 2 frames, I feel, because I mean Mark Selby's more or less broke the back of this match. I mean it's going to be tough for Ding to come back from 7-1.
Can you describe the feelings of uncertainty, of blind panic that you must feel in a situation like that? It's your first final. You've waited all your life for this opportunity.
I had it. I got it from
Yes.
Steve. You know, I was on the end of it. I was mentally gone playing in the final when I had it, and you're just getting drilled. And you're playing someone who's playing so much better than you. You get nothing given to you, as you'd expect in a world final. And you're just sitting there watching one frame ebb after another.
You've had it done to you. You've done it.
Also, Ding's got, I know it was a long time ago, he's very inexperienced. He's got history, obviously, that final against Sullivan in the Masters when he lost 10-1. That was his first big occasion final. This is a much bigger occasion final, so he's got history of this.
He does have history of this, and it was a subject that we were going to talk about. 2007, he was 19 years of age when he met Ronnie then. He was walloped in that and got very emotional. He was just a young man. 10 years later, now 4 years after that, he came back, obviously, and won the Masters. Yeah. And you do think that his game is so much more mature. He's much more mature as a man, as a person.
He is, but I tell you what, he's not had many bigger character tests than this one.
Frame 7 underway. Of course, 8 frames to be played in this session. And this is Mark Selby's 100th frame of the championship. Ding Junhui, of course, had 3 qualifying matches to get through, and he's played 100. This is his 129th frame. Excellent safety there from Mark Selby. Should be easy enough to hit. Don't want to glance off them. Don't want to glance off them. He's left the red. Well, I say he's left the red. Can Mark hit enough of this red to pot it? Looks like he can.
Judged it nicely. Could have been a little bit higher with the cue ball, but still dropped this black into the left corner pocket.
8. Mark Selby, 8.
A mistake, but just looking at it quickly, no harm done. Just trying to pinch a little bit of the pocket there. I'll be disappointed to have missed it, but he won't be too disappointed with the fact that he's not left anything on for Junhui. And of course, with that red being adjacent to the left corner, can't really play safe off anything but this red. Yeah, played it well, and that's what he's got to do. He's got to hang on in there, not despair. This is a long match, best of 35 frames. First to 18, so don't lose your cool. Just a bit thick on that safety, so give Ding a chance, and he'll certainly be having a go at this red now to the right corner pocket. Wonderful shot. Cued that delightfully. Right in the heart of the pocket. He had first chance in the last frame, but just a loose positional shot cost him.
8.
Like to have been a little straighter on this red. Managed to force it in and just about on the blue. We play the cannon here in between the yellow and brown. Lots of left-hand side, 2 cushions into the cluster. Oh, but don't miss the blue. Miss the pack now.
Junhui, 9.
Well, another chance gonna begging, but look, he's got away with it. Well, obviously Mark thinks he can cut this in. It's very thin. Oh, no problem. Junhui got away leaving the easy starter for that fine cut. Problem is with that, you're never certain to be on a colour. Well, this is positive thinking, Ken, playing the pink.
Yeah, and with a little bit of extension at the bottom of his cue, he's going to be throwing a lot of cue out from his bridge hand. Not fully control, but it's almost a dead straight pot. Oh, well played. Nice pot, nicely on the red.
Seven. Eight.
Pot the black, pot the loose red. Maybe trying to get a nice angle on the black now after this red. That's exactly where he wants the cue ball. It needs to be low on the cue, on the black with the cue ball.
15.
So he's got a nice angle just to stun up into the pack.
16.
Usually very good at this shot. Just watch the way this cue ball will arc Lots of bottom. Catch the red right, and the cue ball will riddle its way through that cluster.
It's not too bad. I would have loved to have been straighter on the red as we watch this shot again. Just watch the cue ball.
Yeah, he just caught that red a little bit too full, didn't he? And he was always coming across the edge of the pack rather than going into them. But he's got this red to the left middle. So,
Selby 23.
Just shows you he went into the pack. He was left with his tough red, playing it with pace. And now Junhui, I feel you've got to take this opportunity. You've got to win the frame here and now.
Well, he won't get a better chance than this. Couple of easy starters just to get this cue arm going.
Seven. Sure. 8.
Needs to get back up from his next red, back up towards the pink and black. Just wants a nice angle when potting this green, just on the red, just so he can drop it in. He doesn't want to be straight on this red. Wants a nice angle just to pot the red and get back up for the pink. Because he's got a couple of reds either side of the pink, then just makes it
11.
a lot easier. It's just got a slight angle.
$12.
He's 10 points behind, so you may see him just glance at the scoreboard. He's going to need the red on the right hand side of the table and the red on the left, as well as the 4 reds below the pink if he's going to win the frame from this position. So it's not a straightforward run to the line.
18. $19.
I always feel, though, you come to the table with a bit more purpose when you sat in your seat thinking your opponent was going to win the frame, and it looked like that until Mark Selby missed the red to the middle. And clearing this red now, he makes the 2 just below the pink available into the right corner. 4 points to lead.
27.
Oh, he's played a poor shot there. That's not good. And if he's going to play for the pink, he's got to screw. It looked like he had it. He didn't know which ball to play for, pink or black.
He's sort of betwixt and between. And now what it does, it puts a bit more pressure on this red. He really wanted to clear the 2 reds below the pink before he tackled
33.
any of these more difficult reds. Now he's got to go for a ball colour here.
This is a must-get pot. Once again, his positional side of his
Junhui 33.
play has let him down. That was a golden opportunity. Played a poor positional shot. It seemed as though he was undecided whether to play for pink and black, and finished up wrong side of the pink, left himself that tricky red. Good chance, gone.
He's really struggling out there. Mustn't give up hope though. There's still a long way to go in this game, in this match. Sort of left a tempter for Mark Selby down this right and the left hand side of the table. He'd be trying to pot this and screw the cue ball back towards Balk. He's got another chance here.
Yep. For once, Mark Selby, he's given him a couple of chances. And this looks absolutely inch perfect. He could not have played that any better. This pink will put him 18 points ahead. He will still need these 3 remaining reds.
Well, that was a wonderful
7
opening red. Just the control to try and hold for the pink.
8
gives him a great chance.
Anything but straight now on this pink. He needs an angle so he can get in behind the red. The red nearly on the right hand side of the table. It will only be the red he needs. He will not need a colour, because the red and the pink will put him 32 points in front with 35 remaining. So he just needs a slight angle on this pink.
15.
And he's just about got it.
I'll just put a couple of cue balls up here. Any position there with the cue ball would be perfect. He's just dropping the, well, again, a little bit short. I wanted that cue ball just another couple of inches, and he was straightforward for this red, John, into the
21.
yellow pocket, but he only needs the red. Doesn't have to do too much work with the cue ball, but just make sure the red if you can. It's not a gimme.
Should have been easier.
No, it's not there.
Junhui 21.
Once again, have to say, it was positional side of the game that let him down. Ken put those cue balls in, and you would normally, playing that pink, you would use the cushion as the guide to how hard you wanted to hit the ball. Left a very difficult pot. Mark Selby still in this frame.
Yeah, it's almost perfect here. Knocked it red up towards the pink and black, and cue ball behind the yellow.
Well, his main concern here, Junhui, is not to leave Mark Selby any chance, any glimpse of a pot. He's got to get this red safe. Purposely sent it down that side. He's got the snooker with the pink, so that's okay. Gives him the advantage. Okay, easy to hit off the side cushion. But can you get it safe? Can you get it safe? Here's the chance for Junhui to put his first frame on the scoreboard. Just got to fully commit to this and think of nothing but potting the red. Not really that close. And where's the red going to finish? It's finishing over a pocket.
Settle down now, please.
Didn't really get close.
Yeah, quite a long way away. The only good thing for Junhui is that he's 32 points ahead. So Mark Selby, he can pot the red and get on the brown, but then he's 27 behind with 27 left. So he needs really a pink or black. He can't pot the red and blue here, so he has to get the cue ball after potting this red down towards the pink and black.
Yes, and if he's going to do that, he's got to avoid the brown or green. He's done that, and it looks as though he's coming down nicely. He needs a bounce off the cushion. He's urging it away from the cushion. He's on the pink. The pink will put him 25 points behind. 27 remaining. Ding Junhui, has he thrown away another frame? In it goes. He's on the yellow. Tremendous positional shot from Mark Selby. He's still got a problem which will come in 3 shots' time. Getting from blue to pink. Right in the heart of the pocket.
9.
Blue to pink will be the big problem. He needs the 5 remaining colours to steal. And this one, as a few before, will hurt Ding Junhui.
12. Sure.
Well, if you can get the cue ball, he's got a wonderful angle on the brown. He needs to get the cue ball somewhere in that vicinity. So he's got to try and get as close to the blue. Just almost on the balk line if you can with the cue ball here. Doesn't want the bounce.
16.
Well, it's not too bad. I mean, he is blessed with a lot of cue power, John, and he's going to need it here.
Yeah, the problem is, I mean, it's perfect to get the cue ball away from the side cushion, but we know the more pace, you've got to really cue this to give the blue a chance to go in the pocket. That's the problem. You play with that pace, you risk. Now, surely, Ding Junhui is going to get his first frame on the scoreboard. This to go 21 points in front with 13 remaining. Well, tremendous cheer from this packed Crucible crowd, and even a smile from Ding Junhui. He's got his first frame on the scoreboard, surely. And there you see the relief. Two snookers needed.
With 5 on the frame.
And Mark Selby concedes. And this Crucible audience who want to see a final and giving Ding Junhui every encouragement. He's got his first frame on the board. Will that relax him for the final frame coming up next?
Well played, Ding Junhui, and you could see just what it meant to him. In fact, he looked actually very emotional as he got over the line there, John, didn't he?
Well, the boys are always saying in commentary, you know, you don't settle to win your first frame in a match, and that was it. And Mark Selby was so close there to pinching another frame, and I thought he was going to make it. He came off the cushion perfectly for the blue, seemed to strike it really well, but oh, Ding had been so happy to see it.
He has looked like he's really suffered so much.
That's what he needed. He needed something over the pocket, because he had a couple of half chances, long pots. He missed them by a long way, but yeah, because it's so important, because it's embarrassment almost when you're 6-0 down. You just want to get a frame on the board, just again, and I mean, the weight of the world will be off his shoulders now. It's incredible. I would expect Ding to win this next frame with a big break. That's my prediction.
Well, let's see, because, you know, John, I hate to hark back at this, but 1989, you were 7-0 down against Steve Davis, and you can obviously vividly recall what was happening in your own head at the time.
Yeah, and I was 7-0 up in 1991, and I know the difference between the two, and trust me, I know which one was great and which wasn't, and honestly, you just feel desperate out there. You're just looking for a chance. Every chance seems to go awkward, and your opponent just keeps playing well. It's horrible out there. I mean, we were talking there before. It's not like golf when you got your own ball. When he's got the cue ball, you just have to sit and watch.
This is a brutal sport, but it's one we love.
Yeah, let's just have a look at things. Emotion as he won the frame. He got very emotional, I thought, there, John. I mean, you could see what it meant to him. Almost a tear in his eye. Just relief more than anything. And now, what can he do? Can it inspire him to try and win this last frame? Okay, he's got a bit of luck there. He's knocked the black safe and he's covered this red. And you can tell he was under it, and there you see it again. And we've all been there, John. We know what it's like, you know, when you're not playing the way you know you can, and particularly the way he's played in this championship, to be frozen out, not get that first frame on the board, and what a relief it must be for him to win that last frame.
Yeah, and also, you know, he would have come out today thinking the biggest match of my life, you know, and you're only human, you want something for your efforts. Good pot. Now, at least the shot showing the pot line, it hasn't, but I think he's okay. He's got an angle on the green.
Yeah, the red pots just at the top of the pack. Try and get the pink maybe back on its spot here. Back up for blue if he wishes.
Five.
It's hard to tell whether the pink spot's available. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, you'd like to be in a position where the pink didn't go on its old spot, go on the black spot. But I think I can see the pink spot there, yes.
11.
May decide here to go up for the blue, and then he would have, hopefully have an angle on the blue to try and go into the cluster. Didn't seem like the best of contact, sounded very heavy.
12.
Very heavy indeed now. Will he risk this thin blue and play a cannon into the pink? Well, you could see it bounce, and you could hear it.
Yeah, there you see it jump up, and what it's done is it's widened the angle. It tried to come on the inside of the blue. He's gone on the outside, and it's made this a lot more trickier, this blue into the right centre. We saw him miss the blue into the left centre a couple of frames ago.
But you just feel there's only the... Well, I know there's the red near the corner pocket here. Well, it looks as though that's what he's going to play on. Good cueing, lots of top spin. Well, at least I think he'll be able to reach this without using the rest. But
15.
he needs a very good shot to get back up on the blue. He needs to cue this really well. Did cue it really well. He can't go straight into the pink, but I think he's just got an angle. He's just the right side of the blue line to force this cue ball off the side cushion and into the cluster. But can he generate enough pace to open them up? He's played the two cushion. Always need a bit of luck. He's got a pot. And that's the best he could hope for. It's not an easy one.
21.
Forced it round of 2 cushion, and as I say, it's very hard to generate the pace, but he's left himself a chance of one.
Great pot.
22.
And he's nicely on the green. And that'll certainly give him a bit of confidence.
There's only red available as the one left of the bunch. Didn't go into the middle of the pocket, but he's okay.
$25.
He could play for blue or pink here. I think blue was probably the best choice, isn't it?
You would think so, but he's had a look at the pink. Once again,
26.
just not got the angle. Can he force it round again off 2 cushions? He can't come off the 1 cushion, the black's in the way. No. I think that could be end of break unless there's a plant somewhere. Can't do anything off the blue. He's so straight he can either go forward or backwards. That wouldn't get him on a red. We might just have to settle for the 5 points and play safe.
$31.
Got to swing this round of 2 cushions. He can't risk running into the black here. Well, that's pretty good.
Junhui 31.
And it always puts a little bit more pressure on your opponent to get safe when you leave a red in the middle of the table. Although, just at first look now, that red in the middle of the table is the only one that Mark can get to. Can Ding get past this yellow to play this red on the left-hand side of the table? It's tight. I think he may just be able to bend it with a little bit of right-hand side if he can't get through to it clearly. Yeah, I wasn't certain he could see enough of the red, but he'll be quite happy with the outcome.
Yeah, got a good cue ball. Snookered on the main pack of reds. He's just coming up to see if he comes off the top cushion and lays on the red. Yeah, this is a possible choice for Mark Selby. He can lay on the red there. There is a red that's potable at the bottom of the pack, but wouldn't be able to do much with the cue ball if you were tied to the bottom cushion. Well, he could see it. And he's played that very, very well indeed. Yeah, that was an excellent shot. so difficult to judge because there's always the possibility, John, of the double kiss, isn't there, when they're that close to the cushion?
Yeah, perfect safety. And now you just feel that Junhui is going to play the two-cushion escape here with pace. Well, surely he's got to come down the right-hand side of the table as we look. There's a line of four, well, the three reds just to the right of the pink. You'd feel certain you're going to clip one of those. He's got to play the two-cushion escape with pace here. I'd be amazed if he doesn't. And as I say, with that line of three just to the right of the pink, it gives him the edge of either one of them.
Yeah, this is the line that you're talking about. And if he misses, as you said, one of them, he's bound to clip the other one. Well, he's played it slow. And this is not the right line. Strange.
And a miss. Mark Selby 4.
Well, it's clear to me that he's not clear of mind at the moment. We're having it put back.
I think he needs to go just below the black, a little bit closer to the black this time. I think he's just concerned of if he hits the pack of reds just a little bit heavy, that maybe one of them may pop out and leave a pot for Mark Selby, and that's why he's being a little bit tentative with that first attempt.
Gotta judge this right, line and length. No, that's no good. He's going to leave a pot on here.
Foul and a miss. Mark Selby 4.
Well, missed call, but it won't be taken. Well, Mark Selby will be disappointed with that. Straightforward pot. Should have been the right side of the blue. It's always going to be difficult. There are those baulk colours to avoid. And the fact that the green wasn't on its spot, he had to get a little bit lower down the cushion, and that's why the yellow came into play. But not the best.
Mark Selby 6.
Safety shot there from Mark Selby. Should have found the baulk cushion. Not a lot of pressure on Junhui here to play a better safety shot than that. Swinging it round off the two cushions. Looks a good line. What about the length? It's not a bad length either.
Yeah, blue in the way of the red that's close to the left-hand corner pocket.
Yeah, snookered on all reds by the look of it. And it was all because of his weak safety shot.
It's very short, and unlike Mark Selby, he's in a bit of trouble here.
And when he came to the table and wrapped the table, it was saying good shot to Ding Junhui, but also the annoyance that he allowed Ding to have that opportunity to put him in trouble.
Yeah, just put a line up here, 2 cushion escape, but he's got to clip this red ball here. Absolutely perfect, and he's just got a little bit tick, and he's left Ding Junhui a chance. The bottom red of the pack of 3, just below the pink pots.
Yeah, doesn't have to do much here. Just screw back 6 inches for the pink to the right middle.
1.
Overscrewed it slightly, which tells me there's still a little bit of tension in the arm. He's okay. He's got to hold himself together here because this is a massive frame. Having lost the first 6, if he can get out of this 6-2, then at least he's got something to show for his efforts and can look forward to this evening.
Eight.
Oh, he's got to hold himself together. This is a massive frame for Ding Junhui. 4 behind going into this evening's session wouldn't be too bad. It was looking
14.
Very precarious for him on that 7th frame.
$15.
Just got a slight angle on the pink, just a stun over for the red, directly in line towards the right hand side cushion.
Yes, and he doesn't need the black in play. So in playing this, he'll just stun off the side cushion.
21.
One thing he wants to do is avoid a kiss on the black, but the 3 reds in a line on the right hand side of the table, maybe Mark Selby's thinking, well, he's got that problem to solve. He's going to win the frame at this visit.
$22.
This pink to go 45 points in front with 59 remaining. Another red and a pink will put in 52 points in
28.
front with 51 left. That's what he's looking at. Red and a pink to get to snooker's required.
$29.
Doherty may have played for the pink in the middle, Ken. If he pots the blue, he'll need another red. Surely he's got to pot the pink.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be too much heroics from Ding Junhui here. Just pot the pink, go 52 points ahead. Obviously, still a bit conscious of his opponent and his ability to lay snookers. And of course, he already has lost a frame. the second frame where his opponent needed a snooker.
35.
So he won't be taking anything for granted just yet.
Yeah, to all intents and purposes, the way the
Junhui
black is
35.
situated, you could say that Mark Selby now needs a snooker to tie, because he's not going to be getting a black off one of these reds at the moment. And there he is, 52 behind. 3 reds, 3 pinks. That's 21 points. We put him 31 points behind with 27 remaining. If he kisses the green 4 ball, that won't matter because this red is on to the middle. It's another frame in the bag. Fair play to him. He's dug in really well these last 2 frames. Okay, he's needed a couple of chances, but he's taken them.
Yeah, he showed a bit of character, has to be said, and he'll be mightily relieved. As you said, John, I feel he's got something for his efforts in this first session, and he's got something to look forward to now in the second session. It would have been so much more difficult coming from 7-1 or even 8-0 behind, but
14.
Much better performance. Junhui in these last couple of
15.
frames, and how important will that penultimate frame be, John, in over the course of the final, just to get that first frame under his belt?
Yeah, and particularly when Mark Selby landed on the blue, just needed blue, pink and black. It looked
21.
for all world it was going to be 7-0, but he got a let off.
23.
He's needed a couple of chances in this frame, but as you say, he'll be very relieved to have won these last 2.
26.
Bow tie coming off. He won't be coming back to the table. I mean, don't get me wrong, Mark Selby will be well pleased with the start.
30.
He's got nothing really. Okay, he missed the blue. Well, he could have gone 7-0, but it was always a tough shot at that pace.
35.
So Ding Junhui
41 on the frame.
lost the first 6 frames, but with a little bit of help from Mark Selby, he won the 7th and he won the final frame of this session. So he goes out of it with something to show, but he trails to the world #1 by 6 frames to 2.
What an afternoon session. How challenging has this been as an afternoon for Ding Junhui, and has he weathered the storm?
Great performance. I said the weight of the world was off his shoulders getting the first frame. He looked much more relaxed in that last frame there. Yeah, that was a massive frame for Ding Junhui. Mark Selby will be very annoyed at not going 7-0. When he goes back, maybe after a wee while relaxing, he'll think 6-2 is a good result. But when you've got your opponent down, you want to keep him there, and he'll be annoyed at missing that blue.
Well, he's back into his dressing room for some wise words with Terry Griffiths, his coach. And top break 52 in this session. This is the man who scored 7 centuries in his semi-final. And it's Selby who's been on Hoover mode.
No, it's fair. We said earlier in the week that he was on eco mode because he wasn't potting many balls, but now he's on full cycle. He's been really good today. Great session, 6-0. I agree entirely with what Stephen said. He'd be annoyed for 7-0. I mean, you know, when you're a competitive match player like him, when you can nick a frame and go 7-0 clear there, you're just trying to do it because he's a fantastic front runner. He knows how to keep the pressure on. And it's funny, bizarrely, 6-2, there's a bit in that session for both players. Mark will go then be happy with a 6-2 lead, but Ding will also be happy to not be 8-0 behind because it was looking like it could have been that.
So in a way, kind of a trick missed in some respects for Mark Selby.
Yeah, very much so. And it'll be interesting to see how he comes out tonight because through the World Championship, his second sessions have been very, very poor. I think he was 6-0 up against Karen Wilson. His second session I commentated on, he couldn't make 20, got out of it 4-4. But I think in every match, his second session's been poor.
You're right. Rob Milkins, and you've mentioned Karen Wilson, and Sam Baird as well came back at him as well, where he made a 1-3-4 total clearance and didn't win a frame for another 3 hours. He has, in effect, switched off on occasions.
The only thing is, I think he's playing better now. I think he's sort of played his way in there. Where I mean, I didn't think he'd be 6-0 up in this final. I don't think anybody did. But he's played his way in. His scoring's been a lot better. So I don't think he's going to have second session syndrome tonight. And this is the world final. And generally, when he's world #1 and he's in one of these finals, he's in full mode.
He's certainly made his experience count. I mean, clearly, Ding Junhui emotional out there, getting perhaps a little bit teary, actually, after making it his first frame and getting it on the board at last. And I suppose if you've got that experience of 3 finals, you can make it count in these situations, can't you?
Yeah, this is different to any final of any other tournament. I mean, Ding's obviously he's been in semi-finals, so he's played 4 session matches, but it's just such a massive occasion. As we said earlier, I think Mark Selby's one of the greatest long session matches possibly ever, in the respect that he's got such a good B and C and even D game fall back. I mean, as I say, I keep going back to that second session with Karen Wilson. I mean, that was a Z game, but he got it at 4-4, and it just shows what a tremendous match player he is.
Yeah, he knows how to win, that's for sure. Interestingly, Mark Selby, as we said, will go back to #1. He's already world #1 right now, but in terms of the provisional rankings, he's actually just behind Stuart Bingham. I'm sure Stuart's watching this, and well, I don't know who you'll be rooting for here, Stuart Bingham, but I suspect it could be Ding, because Stuart, of course, trying to become snooker's 12th world #1 here, and it's an ambition he'd love to fulfil. Interestingly, in this top 16, you'll see that Karen Wilson, after a brilliant run here to the quarterfinals, has got himself in there. And obviously, Ding Junhui has been rocketing up back in there, and he'll go to #2 in the world if he wins the title. It's Mrs. Maguire and Michael White who will drop out. So there's an awful lot on the go here in this final, a lot of ifs, buts and maybes, especially for the two of them. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for what has been a fascinating opening session. And don't forget that we will return 7 o'clock tonight, not long actually, before we're back in the chair and on with the second session. They've got 9 frames to play this evening on this first day of the World Championship final. We've seen perhaps a tear in the eye of Ding Junhui. He's registered his presence in this final, but the jester should be full of smiles right now. We'll catch you at 7 o'clock. Bye.